Yo, 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 YouTube. Welcome back to the Dollar Box Live Wednesday evenings, 8 Central Standard Time. You may notice the panel looks a little different this evening. Our boy JC3 Cards and Collectibles, Charlie, came out down with the flu today, had to leave work and go home. So he will not be joining us tonight. Maybe he'll bounce into the chat later. We'll see how that goes. But
I hope he's feeling better.
I do too. But in his place, we have a great replacement for him tonight. So meet our guest host, BB Sports Cards and Bengi Baker.
Yo, yo, yo.
How you doing?
I'm great. It's been a crazy couple weeks, but we're absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's interesting because you don't really have much going on. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. What you're filling your day with, but. For those who don't know, I'll put a little reminder out here or an intro for those of you who haven't seen the previous show with Bengi on it. Bengi owns BB Sports Cards, does BB breaks, and the big news is just recently moved to a new store, a much bigger store. And the grand opening is next week.
Yep, grand opening is Tuesday all the way through Saturday. There goes Pete Fred.
There you go. Hey, how's it going?
Pete Fred's one of our breakers. We had, we opened our new store, soft opening last week, and it was great. It was way below our expectations. We moved from there's Bob.
Hey, he's throwing stuff into the car. He doesn't know this is on camera, right? Like we can't actually catch anything. Oh, okay. No. Just making sure.
Yeah, we're just closing up the shop and we close at 8. We change our hours from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. So we're open late.
Wow.
But so we have a brand new location. We moved from an 800 square foot spot. Actually, we had 800 square foot showroom, and then we had another building in the same place that was like storage and our shipping department. And moved over into a 3,300 square foot building where it's completely full build out. I could take you on a tour if you wanted. It's pretty cool, and we're right on the main drag now, right on College Ave here in Appleton, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I mean the location's going to be amazing. I'm sure you've already realized that. So, I will be coming to the grand opening at least for one day. So I'm looking forward to that. I never got to see your old shop. So can you tell us kind of what's different or improved? Obviously, you have more space. That always helps. Yeah. But what else?
Well, I think something fun to do is I could take you on a little quick tour.
Yeah, let's do that.
It'd be kind of fun to do that.
Heck yeah.
As you can see, walking down the hallway here, how much space there is.
Jeez.
So we have live breaks going every day. So this is one break station here where Fred's breaking right now. This is another break station where I was sitting. So live break stations. We have games, tons of vintage wax out here. We got a full lounge area, 85-inch screen TV, couch and everything, full sectional couch and everything's coming in here this week. Live breaks in the shop. We got everything we do fully, everything from consignment, grading, how to contact us. We got, cases everywhere. This is kind of just the showroom area. We got 2 TVs on each side, tons of wax. Full bar area because we're going to be serving wine and beer as well. We're right on the main drag. So full bathrooms, men and women's bathroom, everything you can think of. So full stop, one-stop shop.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it looks amazing. So how did this come about? Like what's Did you just find this trip upon this place, or is this something you've been working towards, or?
It's been the demand of the community. Our other shop was getting so busy that we couldn't even. There wasn't enough room for. I mean, you get, half a dozen people in there. It was just too. It was too busy.
Yeah.
And, the product that we needed to carry, that people were requesting, that they were looking for, and I really think the card industry or just the area was missing that hangout,
Sure.
Most card shops you go into, you buy what you need and you leave. We wanted to create an environment where people can come in here with their dads or grandparents, sit down, open stuff, watch the game. We got full speakers, music going on all the time. Right now, the Brewer game's on the speakers out there. So yeah, we got games. We got, we're gonna have beer and wine, drinks. We're gonna have tournaments. We're renting out the space for you can have your fantasy football league drafting parties here. There's talks of people want us to have poker night here, and so we got the space for it.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that the community really needed that doesn't have is a trade night. There's not a trade night near you from here to Green Bay. Oshkosh has one once in a great while. So we decided with this big space we have, we're going to have trade nights every first Saturday of every month.
Okay.
So we'll have trade nights here at the shop with food and prizes and the full layout. We got the space, so it should be a lot of fun. And I think the community needs that. So we try to give the community what they're asking for.
Yeah, and I think that's the key there, right? We kind of had the same goal with the GOAT show, right? Like there's a pretty good amount of quality card shows in our area.
Yeah.
But I felt like it was, like you said, just you come in and you get some cards and you leave, and there's no real interaction, with the dealers and the promoter, and the customers didn't really, other than free admission and access to, dealers with tables of cards, that there really wasn't anything, in addition to bring them in. And it gets very, I think what's interesting about cards now than like when we were kids is how many members of the family are involved in it, right? So you've got like dad collected as a kid, and now son collects, and daughter does Pokemon, and one of the things I notice, and we get a lot of positive feedback about the GOAT show too, is when families come in, the kids can go try to find the goats, and they can try, there's plenty of places to sit. So if you bring a baby with you, like you don't have to just walk a concrete floor the whole time. You can take a little break and get some food and get a drink, and easy accessible bathrooms and nice open spaces and entertainment. You're providing a good piece of the entertainment now with the live breaks and things like that. So I think
that's what I think, to the GOAT show, I think is when you're hitting on what people are asking for, and this industry has changed so much towards social media and entertainment value and craziness and overexcitement and all those type of things that people feed on now when they're looking for stuff in the hobby. So when people go to card shows, they go to card shops, they want that same type of interaction that they see on lives or they see online. With music and food and tables to sit down at where they can rip something, or they they have breaks going, because that's what people see all the time. So when you go to a card show, you want to feel those same things. So it's great that you have food there, and then you have drinks, and that the promoters are there interacting, and you have you're talking over the loudspeaker, letting people know what's going on. So it's very interactive.
We do a live show ourselves from there too.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, you do right before us.
Yeah, and you went to the National, right? I think I saw photos and stuff. Yeah, I never ran into you there, but it's a busy place.
Not surprising, right?
Yeah, but this was my 9th National, I think, 8th or 9th. I don't know. I kind of lose count after a while, and I noticed a pretty good difference in how the event ran this year, just from the aspect of a lot of the big corporate dealers, they had games to play and scavenger hunts, and, Whatnot had the custom jerseys you could do and the custom trading card, and, eBay had like the basketball hoop thing you could, I feel like that even a show that size is really starting to evolve and realize like, hey, there's a lot of kids coming to this thing now. There's it's not just old men, right? There's young men, there's older men, there's young women, there's older women.
Well, look how big the kids breaking section was.
Yeah. I mean, the kids trade area. Yeah, I think he doubled the size. Yeah, he doubled the size this year, and I think it was still too small. Every time I went past there, was packed.
Yeah.
But I feel
it had a more entertainment value this time.
It did.
Even the huge Whatnot stage, which was super impressive.
Yeah, Whatnot, and we're going to talk about Whatnot a little bit tonight, because it's something that my viewers and myself have gotten more involved with.
And we break on, yeah.
And you break on, and I definitely won't be doing breaking. It's not my thing, but I want to be doing more live shows. And we started doing a lot of static selling on there, and I'm getting a lot of sales. So there's a market there even to just list buy it now type stuff.
You know what else is becoming real popular on Netflix on Whatnot is we're starting to see more and more people coming on and having conversations like we are, and having stuff for sale while they're interacting with the chat. That it's not just a break. It's you're talking about the hobby, you're talking about topics, and you have stuff in your store, singles, and you're selling stuff while you're having conversations with the people who interact with you. So that's becoming more popular as well.
Yeah, I mean you're right. That's kind of amazing. That's a great. I mean, you could almost, if you think about it, you could be with breaks. It would be a little bit tougher to do this, but like, let's say you're doing singles, right?
Yeah, perfect.
You could actually bring the buyer on the camera. Like you could, if you can give them access to get on stage, if you will, with you. You could have like a video interaction, about the card or something like that too. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. That's very interesting. I could see that being pretty popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've noticed that people are willing to pay a little bit more for items, because they're getting value of just having this is my nightly show that I intend kind of thing. And I'm getting a lot more. I used to get this a lot on eBay where people would message me and they'd say, "Hey, I got a bunch of your Freddie Freeman cards I want. Can we put something together? Blah, blah, blah." Not getting as much of that anymore. I'm getting the sales still, but not as much interaction.
Yeah.
But as soon as I started, I'm up to like 32,000 listings, I think, now on Whatnot. And I'm getting a ton of messages of people like, "Hey, I like to buy this. Do you have any of these? Or can we put this together and, save on some shipping? And can we, hey, I sell cards. I've got a bulk lot of Barry Sanders stuff. Do you want to buy, because eBay is so discouraging for messages that don't have anything to do with the transaction. Like they want to,
100%, yeah.
They're not about interacting. They want to keep everybody, this is your seller spot over here. This is your buyer spot over here, and kind of block everything else out. And, in some situations that's fine, but in others, I think, they're not going out to bars as much. They're not doing, some of those activities have kind of retracted, especially since COVID, but people still want to hang out. So this is a way that they can do that. I mean, even like this, doing a live show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. It's just a way that we have an active Discord all day long, and it's an interactive community, but to get on video and allow some live chat and answer some questions and raise some questions, I think there's a lot of value in that. Just like with your store having a hangout spot, I think you're right. I think that's going to be a huge win for you. That's going to bring a lot of people in that are just looking they like cards, they like sports, and they want a place to hang out and talk to other people who like the same thing.
Well, and
it's no different than a bar.
No, it isn't. And that's why we want to serve, beer and wine too. And literally we just had, because we had some people come from Stevens Point, because right here in the valley, there's nothing, out by Stevens Point, Plover area, and there's nothing out in Sturgeon Bay, Manitowoc, right? Yep. So when you go west and east, there's nothing. So everybody comes in town to Green Bay, Appleton area to go to the card shops. So they brought their son in here so he could sit down and go through cards. And he goes, "We heard you're serving beer and wine. That's why we came." And I was like, "We don't have our license yet. We're still working on it." And they ended up going to the pizza joint next door to go while their son hung out here for a couple hours and looked through cards and bought stuff. So it's like, it's still a way for parents to hang out with their kids and do stuff they like to do, but now be in a place where they can also do stuff they like to do.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the cigar hangout places. So, when I first got out of college and I'd work all day, and then I would go to the cigar hangout place at night. Like I had my own locker there and stuff. And
that's pretty bougie.
Oh my God, it was awesome. Like you just sit on these, Italian leather couches and talk crap and try these nice cigars. And
that's the one thing I want to try to figure out how to put in this place. If I could figure out how to have a cigar room, That's the only thing that we need.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know how you make cigars and wax, but
yeah, probably not the best combo. You'd almost have to completely wall it off. You'd have to have like an exit and an. But yeah, that would be sweet as hell.
Yeah.
That'd be definitely something I'd be interested in. So,
but that's also why we extended our hours to 8 p.m. with it being a hangout and having sports on football games and all those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's what's crazy is how busy we are after 6 o'clock.
Yeah, but I think stores underestimate that, right? So they always want to have these. I mean, everybody wants to work days, so that's part of it too. Most people don't want to work at night, but honestly, that's especially during the week. That's going to be your best crowd, right? I mean, most people have a job, and if they come in during the day, they're just coming in to pick up what they pick up, and then they're going back to work. They're not hanging out.
So this is the other thing of our business that we're starting to do now that we're really promoting that we tested. So we have a website, bbsportscard.com. So if you want to purchase wax at bbsportscards.com, but we will also deliver.
Okay.
So if you're sitting at the bar with your buddies and you're like, man, we should get some wax to open. Hey, it's called BB Sports Cards. They'll deliver it right to us, free of charge.
Interesting.
So anywhere in the Fox Cities area, we'll bring wax. You purchase it from our website, we'll bring it right to you.
I like that. That's a great idea. Why not?
Wife just commented.
Diana's on there. Hi, Diana.
She said, "Yep, you're delivering."
Yes, I think that's brilliant. Why not? I mean,
full circle. Anything you need regarding cards. If you need it last second, you need it delivered to your house. You want to come to the shop. You want to hang out with your friends. Like whatever it is, you can do it here.
So are you doing okay, so let's get a little details on this. Are you doing like minimum order to deliver, or
I think it's
delivery fees, or is there anything like that?
I think it's $25.
Okay.
I have to double check, or my wife might be able to comment, but I think it's
okay. That seems very reasonable.
Yeah, it's bbsportscard.com.
Oh, my bad. Nope, sorry. Did somebody else have BB Sports Cards?
I think so, because I believe my wife tried that.
bbsportscard.com.
Yep.
Got it. All right. There you go. We got it updated on there. All right. Yeah, I think that's fantastic. A delivery service. I never thought about it. In winter, you could kill it with that. It's going to be nasty out. We're going to be stuck inside this weekend. Let's order a box of Topps Finest that just came out or something, and get it delivered and rip some wax. And I think that's
people ordering cases like they want to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they don't have to go pick it up. Then that's interesting.
And we also give free sleeves and top loaders with your purchase.
Even better. You don't even have to order supplies. Let's come right with it.
So we're trying to be when we thought about building this business, we started at my kitchen table. You know what I mean? And fast forward 3.5, 4 years later, we're here. But the things we're doing are all things that I would want. Like if I was in the hobby, if I wanted to do something, these are things that I would want. How many times are you sitting around like, man, I just like to open some wax right now.
Yeah.
Or you go to Walmart and their shelves are bare.
Right.
And it's like, no, it's called BB. I know he's got stuff. He'll bring it over.
Yeah. Yeah, that it's you and I are so alike that way, because that's kind of exactly what I was thinking when we came up with the Goat Show. I'm like, I've been to all these shows and there's stuff I like and stuff I don't like. I'm like, why can't I make a show that has all the things I like plus some, and then removes the things that I don't like? Yeah. So that was kind of the goal. It's like, because it's like there's other card shows. Did you really need another card show? Yeah, I think there was a way to improve on the existing, way everybody was doing it. So I felt like there was something different.
One of the great things I like about the Goat Show is it's not every month. It's not redundant. Yeah. It's not the same thing all the time. So you're doing it was every 3?
Yeah, we're doing it pretty much every 3. Sometimes it's a couple weeks longer or shorter, depending on.
And that's perfect. It doesn't get
calendars.
Look forward to it. It's not just the same thing. Yeah. So
the other thing I like about that show. One of the other things I like about it too is it kind of allows us to be the first to grab a date. because when you're scheduling 3 months out, a lot of shows don't schedule that far out. They're still worrying about the next month's show. So
are you trying to schedule in years around when the Packer games are to try to get those people from out of town in there?
Yeah, we're doing our best with that. It's it's almost impossible to nail it right on the head, because at some point you got to pick a date, and it's got to work for everybody. And but that's just part of the challenge of promoting a show. You're going to get some dealers. It's it's too bad it's not this weekend because I could do that weekend. It's like, well, I can't. How are you going to pick a weekend that works for every single person that wants to be there? So we just do the best we can. I think we try to work with the other shows too. I think it's smart to just support each other. Like, why not? Why can't we have all these shows be successful? So we work with Matt and the other show promoters and just try to say, hey, we're looking at this date. Well, I'm not going to do one this month, whatever. I set up at Matt's show. He sets up at ours when he's available. Baseball season, not so much, but outside of that, he tries to be there. And so I think that's a good positive situation that we've created as well, and a smart play. So since we've been speaking about the GOAT show, let's just throw the flyer up there real quick and just remind everybody. Let me see if I can do this here. I don't have Charlie who does my normal tech stuff. Charlie, you're going to be all impressed with this if you're still on here. Hold on one second. I got to pull the photo up first.
He said, if I spend time in bars, I'd be in trouble after you be calling card deliveries. That's the point.
Right? That's what I said. That's what I said.
Oh, that's right. We do have delivery fee. It's free. If you order $200 or more, it's free delivery.
Gotcha. Okay. That sounds right.
Yep.
All right. Here we go. Maybe. Come on. We just want to share the show.
You can do it.
I know, right? And I was practicing before I got on here too. Here we go. Look at that. I did it. It's coming. Hey, there it is.
There it is.
So there's the updated flyer for the GOAT card show. It's Sunday, September 28th, 9 to 2 p.m. at the historic Riverside Ballroom, 1560 Main Street, Green Bay. We do have a charity. That's another thing that's very important to our show to always tie together. We've got the Oneida Emergency Food Pantry. So we've got a couple of cool gifts or prizes, I guess, if it would be more accurately stating it. We've got a HaHa Clinton Dix official on-field jersey, as well as a poster. It's like a photograph, but it's huge, and it's framed and it's signed by HaHa Clinton Dix. So if you're a HaHa fan, I mean, who doesn't like HaHa? It's such an amazing name. You can be entered to win that. You'd bring a non-perishable food item. We'll collect that, give you a ticket to enter into the drawing. Perfect. If you make this, look at that. I can even make it look nicer. The other thing is, if you do not have non-perishable items or you don't want to bring food, you can buy a ticket for $1, and that will get you into the drawing entry as well. All proceeds, of course, go to the charity Oneida Emergency Food Pantry. We will probably have a couple more items to give away like we normally do. I just don't have any of those details yet. We're still a couple weeks out from the show, so we haven't nailed all that down, but there will be some additional items to add to that.
Yeah, I think we'll probably add something too.
I was just gonna say maybe BB Sports would wanna throw something in there as well. And speaking of you guys, you're going to be doing a live break again. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah. Well, what did we just hit?
Matthew Golden Auto.
Ooh.
Matthew Golden. He's like hot in sales right now. It's oh, nice.
Yeah, let me see if I can. In our break, Matthew Golden, lead auto.
Man, that's nice, man.
Yeah, BB Sports Break's gonna be live again. We want to bring a crazy product, but we might have to rethink that.
Okay.
So since we talked last, Adam, we wanted to bring a case of 2013 Select Hobby Football.
That would have been super fun.
Well, and it might be possible, but the issue is Tom Brady's gold 2013 Prism sold for $160,000. Okay, his 2013 Select PSA 9 is up for sale for $65,000.
Okay.
A BGS 9.5 or a PSA 10 of that card is worth almost $100,000. So
right.
after that has happened, the cases have gone up over double.
Yeah, I get it. That makes sense.
And if you're collecting, that 2013 Select product, which if people don't know, that's first year Select.
Yep.
Okay. So first year Select, we've done all the research on it. There should be 2 gold Brady's left.
Yep.
So people are still searching for those. The 101s out of there's still some big 101s out of there that go for thousands of dollars.
Okay.
And not just that, the silvers out of there go for a ton of money. The inserts out of 25 go for a ton of money. So the product went from $3,000-$4,000 a case when we talked last to now to almost $8,000 a case.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Well, are you still going to do a break though of it? I mean, you could just charge more for the spots, right?
Yeah,
if you can get the buyers.
It's going to be pricey, and we still would love to do that. And there's a good chance we still will, or we'll do something with it and do. Maybe we'll rip a couple boxes, or
that would
like
work.
that. Maybe sell them by the pack.
Sure.
But we'll definitely bring. We're going to be bringing another break as well.
Okay.
We're trying to see how close to release date we can get, because that's going to be really close. That's going to be really close to after Donruss release.
Yeah.
As well as we've been having a lot of fun with Marvels and
that would be fun. I do a Marvel. I'll buy into that for sure.
Yeah. So it just depends on the product. The Bo Jackson football we've been really getting into as well. That's been just blowing the doors off. So we're going to bring something fun like that.
Awesome.
Different than what most people are breaking, but I just want to see what product I get near, a little bit closer to that. But I have the Select here, so I just can't believe.
I think that's not a bad idea. I think it'd be good to do like, and I'm certainly not telling you what to do, but my opinion on it. I think it'd be fun to rip something alternative, right? Because that's kind of how our show is. That's something we try to project, is that it's not just a bunch of this year's football cards on the table. We have dealers that specialize in non-sport stuff, and of course Pokemon, and so we want to try to do
Star Wars hobby.
That would be great too. That would be great. Yeah, I love all that stuff.
Yep.
My business has switched focus quite a bit. Probably in the last 9 months, doing a lot more non-sport and a lot more. I really like the Bo Jackson stuff too. That's done well for me. We spent a lot of time at the Bo Jackson area, during the national, just kind of get a feel for it. I talked to some of like the high level national players, and I mean, Flavor Flav was there. We got to meet Flavor Flav. I think that's the kind of stuff that needs to come into sports cards to really draw in new buyers, new collectors. Get more members. Yeah, and because I think they're on the beta, right? They just had their second release.
Who?
The Bo Jackson.
Yep. They had their original. And this was their first release was the Bo Jackson box, and now they have their Griffey box is on pre-order right now.
Correct. Yeah, and then they've got Tecmo Bowl after that.
Yeah, but you have to buy.
You have to buy Griffey.
Pre-release of the Griffey in order to get the Tecmo Bowl. So I already went and got.
Correct.
We ordered like hundreds of boxes. So if you haven't, just go on their site. It's still available, not for how long. So if you're just listening to this, go buy yours so you can get those Tecmo Bowl boxes. Yeah,
I think I don't even know. In my head, I kept kicking around. How are they going to do Tecmo Bowl cards? Are they going to make like 8-bit cards, or?
I think that would be like super cool.
I do too, or at least make those like the hits or something. I don't know. yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see where that goes, and even to just see Bo Jackson up on the stage talking about Tecmo Bowl. I'm like, dude, that was like our childhood, you know?
My gosh, yeah. I still
Yeah.
like playing it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's just it's the
Oh, yeah.
cheat code to use them though, but
Right. Yeah, but so what? That's what made it fun.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the games are like, as games evolved, they kept trying to make them more realistic, you know, not just graphics wise, but like, you know, you can't just run around for 50 yards and then run 100 yards the other.
Yeah.
But that's what made the game fun. Like, and then all of a sudden you started seeing these games come out like NBA Jam and NFL Blitz and the ridiculous version of these sports, because it turns out that's what's actually more fun to play than
100%.
like a Madden or something. And not to take anything away from Madden, there's plenty of players of that too, but I'd much rather sit down and play like NFL Blitz or something like that.
Yeah, that's our generation.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I don't like having to press like 5 buttons to make my guy do something.
Right. Yeah, and you know, if you run around for 20, 30 yards backwards and you get tackled, you still had fun.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, who cares, right? You know, you can't take it too seriously. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, we got it right in our lounge. We got the old video game with like 1,000 games on it in our lounge.
Yeah, I actually, right outside my door here, I have a little arcade in my house. Same thing. I got 13,000 games on it. I've got
perfect.
I have a full-size Ninja Turtles machine. I've got a pinball. That's awesome. When I got to take a break during the day, it's awesome to just go in there and just, you know, be a degenerate and play some video games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smoke a cigar and play some video games.
Yes. Yeah. I don't do cigars in my house either. I got to find a cigar spot, just like you do at the shop. But yeah, that'd be a game changer for me. I don't think I'd ever leave if I could do that. So
you can't make it too comfortable.
Right. Exactly. All right. So we've got a couple other things I wanted to cover, at least on the dollar box side of things.
Yeah.
And then I want to get back to some more of you. First of all, why don't you tell us where your shop is?
Yeah, so we're at 2310 West College Avenue in Appleton, Wisconsin, 54914. You can find us on Google. You can just type in sports cards in Appleton or sports cards near me, and we'll be the first one that pops up. And you can see our hours Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Or hop on our website and grab deliveries.
I think the delivery idea is super interesting. You have to let me know how that's going, because I think I don't know of anybody else that does that, like anywhere,
no,
let alone around here. So yeah, I think that could be really fun. You know, if you think about it, so like it's $25 for delivery, right? But if you're buying a case of something, what's $25?
Yeah.
Like to get it hauled over to your house? Hell yeah.
Yeah, you don't even have to leave your couch in your pajamas. So
who's delivering it? Is that you? Do you have like a fancy delivery hat or? Oh,
you got the BB Sports Cards mobile.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you have the wrapped car. That's right. I forgot about that.
Car and everything.
Dude, yeah, that's pretty awesome. It shows up with a case in the back. Oh my God, You got me thinking now.
It's fun.
Will you haul that thing up to Green Bay for me, or what?
All right, we'll go everywhere from Heystack to Green Bay.
Nice. I love it. I think that's fantastic. All right. So one of the things that's been kind of kicking around in our Discord is many of the sellers so basically the purpose of my channel and the Discord is to a place for low-end card sellers to meet. Okay. So anybody who's selling basically the stuff that you get rid of, Benji.
We sell fiber. Get this. So we have people that come in here and they're almost every Monday, Tuesday, we have people walking our door that just want our basement breaks.
Yeah.
And we sell them $40 for a 5-row. And they're gone weekly. So
yeah, and that's kind of our MO, this group's MO. So one of the things that's come out recently, and I think, do you use Car Dealer Pro? I think you said you did.
I don't use it here, but I use it with my buddy who has one. He's pretty hardcore into it, like you are.
Yeah. So and again that's kind of the group of viewers for this channel, that's what we're doing. So we're using scanners and we're just listing volumes of stuff, right?
Yep.
Well, Car Dealer Pro recently introduced in beta the ability to download all your inventory from eBay, and they'll host your inventory. Okay, so they do the maintenance on it, or you can do your maintenance there, I guess I should say. And then you can take those listings and send them to Whatnot, Collects, COLLX, which is Car Dealer Pro's version of the selling platform, essentially, as well as Shopify. So if you build out a Shopify store, you can send them there too. And the key to it is the fact that if you sell something on one of the platforms, it removes it off the other platforms for you.
That's impressive.
It's huge. We found that it mostly works. There's a few scenarios where it doesn't. If you're uploading directly to eBay versus using a CSV file, then it'll work, unless you download the listings after you uploaded them to eBay to Car Dealer Pro, then it will work as well.
Okay.
But if you're doing a whole new batch, like let's say it's listings you don't even have on eBay yet, and you're scanning in a batch or you're uploading photos into a batch, if you upload to eBay through CSV as well as Collects and Whatnot, they won't all cross each other, because eBay is managing that inventory, not Collects or Car Dealer Pro, I should say. But if you direct list to all three of them, then all three of them are listed in your inventory, and it will remove them as the sales happen. So what I found out is the other way around that is, if you want to use the CSV to upload to eBay, I usually do, because I like to list quantities. And right now, Car Dealer Pro does not have that ability to list a quantity of a card. But as we all know, on eBay, you're limited on how many listings you can have.
Yep.
So if you got 10 copies of something, I don't want 10 listings of it in most cases, unless there's a difference in condition or something like that. So what I do is I take my batch and I upload it to eBay through a CSV, so that I can control the SKU number, for my inventory system. I can put whatever quantity I want in there. Then I download it from eBay back into Car Dealer Pro, and then I send it to Whatnot and Collects, because then all three will be linked, okay? Because now it's being managed by Car Dealer Pro, because I downloaded that inventory back into Car Dealer Pro. Hopefully that makes sense. But I've had a few questions over the past 2 or 3 weeks, as we've been playing with this. Why aren't certain items getting canceled when I sell it on one of the platforms? And while I use CSV, I don't use the direct listing to eBay. You can still use all those inventory management functions from Car Dealer Pro. You just simply have to download everything from eBay back to Car Dealer Pro, and then from there.
So that would be amazing if the card apps for comping could pull that information that's also selling on those other platforms, so there's more available comps, because right now all those cards that are selling on those other platforms aren't counting as comps when you're looking them up.
That's accurate, yes.
Yeah, so that would be awesome.
And there's quirks between them, okay? So and we talked about this last week, so I don't want to overbeat this subject to death, but so when you upload, if you price something at $1.99, say, and you list it to eBay and you list it to Collects, it lists at $1.99. If you upload it to Whatnot only uses solid dollar values. They don't use, so then it drops it to $1. It doesn't round it up, the 1 penny, it rounds it down to $1. Whatnot right now, when you sell a fixed item on there, you can't sell it as an envelope shipping. You can only do that in live shows, which makes no sense to me, but you can't do that. So if you're selling a $1.99 card, that buyer's paying like $4, right, to send it as a ground advantage. So there's some things that don't work perfectly yet, that in the best scenario. So we'll keep everybody up to date on that. We're working regularly with Alex, our partner over at Car Dealer Pro, to stay up on the updates and try to figure out as much as we can. So keep asking questions, keep giving us feedback, because that's what's going to help us try to get as much of this figured out before it comes out of beta, hopefully.
Yeah.
But if not, and it does become fully active, at least, things to still work on to get it the best possible product that it can be. But game changer in my mind, because I was actually considering reducing a little bit of my subscription to Car Dealer Pro because I was doing so much through photo and things like that. And I'm like, well, really all I'm getting when I list something is I pay for one listing to eBay and that's it. That's all you're getting for that cost. But now for that one cost, now you're sending it to Collects, Whatnot, and eBay. And to me, that adds a lot of value. The more platforms the more platforms you can be on, the more sales you can get. My Whatnot has been very busy. I have sales every day on there now, and I've just gotten on there, regularly getting messages of so and so is following you, and so is following you. I'm sure you get a lot of those, Benji. A little bit newer to me, I've done a few live shows, but now building out the fixed selling has really boosted it up for me. So the goal ultimately for me anyway is it's taking me a while to get all 59,000 listings on there, because you have to you kind of got to do it in chunks, because there's some things that Whatnot likes that eBay doesn't require you to have, and some things that Collects, so you kind of got to go into some of these listings and finish them up a little bit to get them to go to all three platforms. So anyway, I'm kind of finishing that up. Once that's done, then I want to more heavily do the live shows, single selling, because I can simply take that inventory that I've listed on Whatnot and just add it to a live show and go. Okay. Which to me is a huge time and effort saver. And cross sales, right? So I can put it in a live show and I can say, hey, you like this Jeff Bagwell card? Check out our fixed listings. We got 20 more, buy up to 15 for one shipping price. That whole bundling strategy, is by far the best way to go when you're selling $1 and $2 items.
Yep.
You really need.
We use the CSV file to upload all of our inventory from our Square into Whatnot. So it's
sure.
So you can do that with
same idea.
Cards. Yeah.
It's
brilliant. Yeah, it's great that you can do cross-platform.
Yeah, well, and that's the one downside to CSV, because CSV is a file, right? So when I take that file and same with your example, if I send it to eBay, that's all controlled now in eBay. So if I sell that same card in Collects, eBay is not going to it's not going to tie to eBay, right?
Yeah.
But if I get that inventory from eBay and bring it back to my managing software, which in this discussion is Car Dealer Pro, now when I send it to Collects or I send it to Whatnot, and those platforms report a sale, now it takes it out of eBay for me.
Yeah, that's great.
So yeah, and it works really well. I've had quite a few sales, like I said, and I'll just go into eBay, I'll go into my ended listings, and boom, they're there. You can see all the cards that have been taken out of your store because you've had sales. Here's the one downside to the quantity listing though. So let's say I've got 4 copies listed on eBay, right? And I download that eBay listing to Car Dealer Pro and I send it out to Collects and Whatnot. Let's say I make the sale on Whatnot. So it takes it out of my inventory in eBay, but I don't want it to end the listing because I still have 3 more copies, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So what I've started doing, I started doing this yesterday. This is all a learning thing, right? Because none of this existed before. So when I go into my ended listings in eBay, because I need to go there to get the SKU, because there's a SKU issue with those other platforms too. And I need to be able to find the card so I can ship it out.
Yeah.
So it's real easy. I pull up my ended listings; they're all right there. It's not any harder than like when you get a sale on eBay and you go into your orders. So I like that part. But when I go in there and it's ended and it says 3 copies, 4 copies, whatever it says I have for quantity, what I do is I relist that item on eBay, but I relist it with 1 less copy, right? Because I did sell 1 copy. So let's say that said 4, I'll relist it at 3. I'll download that again to Car Dealer Pro, and then I can send it back to Collects and Whatnot and have that card listed again on those 2 platforms. If another one sold, well, it's all we can do for right now because, and I know Car Dealer Pro's working on quantity. We've been talking to them about this. I spent a lot of time with them at the National just talking about some tech issues and different things. And it's definitely it's huge on their radar that's something that they have to work on. So, and in some cases, if I have 4 copies of a card and they're all 4 are different enough, then it doesn't really matter, right? Because you're still listing them as an individual listing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have probably close to 200,000 cards listed in 59,000 listings. Well, I don't want to pay for another 150,000 listings on eBay,
right?
And have to go to like an anchor store or something ridiculous. So money wise, this is the way I have to do it because it's the only way that it really makes sense.
A few more steps.
The only other thing you could do is reserve the extra copies you have and list them later, and only list one at a time. But I don't like to do that because I have a lot of quantity buyers. People that want to grade, right? They come in and they buy like 5 copies of a card. They look them all over and send in the one that grades the best. That kind of stuff. We get a lot of that as low end sellers, and I don't want to cut that off. And my customers like that; they buy it. So I don't. You have to do what they want to do. Right? I mean, there's really no other way to say it. But I'm at about 33,000 listings now. We can I'm going to just share my screen real quick on this one. Hopefully. Let's share this one. Okay. So you can see the Car Dealer Pro screen. Oh, good. It does move. Good. Anyway, so this is how you can tell, right? So if you go to your listings here, now, I mean, you're going to see sold out ones here. I've already sold some of the listings I just did today, but you'll see here how the collects logo is lit up. That means it's listed in collects. You'll see how the Whatnot logo here is lit up, but notice the eBay light is not lit up. Yeah. And that's because I listed it to eBay through a CSV. So that's how you can tell the difference. Oh. So it's listed on eBay, but Car Dealer Pro is not managing that in the inventory. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Because it's through the CSV. So I just kind of wanted to show that because we showed like how the lights turn on and stuff last time. When you have something listed, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like when you have it, because I'm not going to have something on Whatnot and collects and not on eBay. Like that wouldn't make sense for me. So I know for a fact that when those two are lit, that the eBay one is simply through a CSV. So what that means is I need to download them from eBay to inventory, and then they'll be managed in here. So I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense. It's up
with that, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of sort of tech thinking, but it's proficient. Like when once you get everything up and going, it's good. Now, right now, I mean, I have a good number of Whatnot orders and I have a decent number of collects orders. As that grows, this is going to be tough. Right now, if I sell 10 cards in a day on Whatnot, it's not that big a deal for me to go in and remove 10 cards.
Yeah.
So, and then collects has a quirky thing where when you make a sale on collects, it doesn't take it out of your inventory right away. It doesn't remove it until the customer receives it. Like, how dumb is that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, and I didn't realize that until I made a sale, and then the customer received it. So I went in to collect the funds, and it said, "Do you want to remove this item from your inventory?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I sold it." So then when I looked into it further, I discovered that, yeah, they don't remove it until after. The problem with that is it also doesn't remove it then from Whatnot or eBay. So if I make a sale on collects, I will go and remove it right away on my own. You can do it manually, so I just do that. But then
I'm sure that'll be a fix that'll come up with pretty soon.
Yeah, so I think Car Dealer Pro needs to take a few minutes and look at those different quirks between the platforms, and then maybe try to figure out in the inventory control how they can work with that and make sure that it's going. But another way you can do it, like if you don't want to look on eBay what you sold, you can also do not out of stock. You can also go to your sold out tab, and it'll show you your sales right here as well. And what I like about looking at it in here is if you're like, well, I don't know if that took it out of Whatnot or eBay, or if it's still listed there. Again, you can go to your light. I call them lights. So basically, if these are filled, colored and filled in, then it's listed there. Because remember, this is your inventory management system here. So it says, this card here is 2011 New England Patriots Topps card, right? Sold. Yep. Says sold out, and all 3 lights are off. That means that it's removed from all 3 platforms.
Nice.
Yeah. So you just kind of have to, to those of us that are doing this in beta or even doing, thinking about doing this, I just kind of wanted to keep bringing some presentation each week on things that I've learned to try to work with it, because something like this that's so new and isn't even out of a beta yet, it's not going to be one button and you're done. Like, I would love it if all of life was like that, right? I mean, we just got a new puppy at my house.
Oh.
And yeah, it's amazing and terrible.
Yep.
I would love to just
what kind of dog?
He's part part pug and part Boston Terrier.
Oh,
so really? He's got a little smish nose, and he's a brindle color, and yeah, he's adorable. But
we're a big dog family too.
Yeah, we put him on camera last week, so if you want to watch last week's episode, he's on there right at the beginning with Brianna. But where I was going with that is it would be great to just get a puppy, and they're cute and they're lovable and all that, and just push a button and they're potty trained and they don't chew on stuff and they listen to you and they don't run away, and all of those things have happened since we've gotten the puppy. But a puppy is a dog in beta, right?
Yeah,
they're in test mode. You kind of gotta you gotta work through everything to get to the point where they can be a good dog. And so Whatnot's been great. I got a huge new appreciation for Whatnot. What is that noise? Do you hear that?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
The puppy.
Yeah, right. Let's see here. Yeah, so I just got a huge appreciation for Whatnot when I was at the National. I talked about this, the last couple of weeks on here, and you made mention of it earlier too. Like their display was awesome. It was very friendly to the users and the people attending. They had free stuff. They had just some interactive things. I love the jerseys. I got a soccer jersey with the dollar box on the back, and I love that kind of thing. I think that's the kinds of things that really builds a brand and makes people want to be there. Live selling is not going to go away, right? I mean, I think you're pretty convinced of that yourself. Oh, it's only going to get bigger. That is the platform to do it on. I've done a few shows. They've been fairly successful. I'm getting more comfortable doing it. Trying to figure out what's a good regular schedule to do it and things like that.
Yep.
And once all that inventory gets over there, no stopping us at that point, as far as what I do. So I was really impressed with them. I talk to a lot of people when I go to a show, because I'm sitting at a box sometimes for 3 hours, right? Digging through quarter boxes, and that's my play. Yep. So you you're next to somebody for 3 hours. You should probably say hi at some point, be a little bit of a socialite. And I talked to so many people that are like, oh, I'm looking for inventory for my Whatnot shows. And, I said, oh, where do you normally buy cards if you don't go to a show? I buy stuff on Whatnot. And I'm just like, and I kind of came to realize that a lot of the people who buy on eBay buy on Whatnot, but a lot of the people who buy on Whatnot don't buy on eBay.
Okay.
So I feel like there's a whole market there that I'm not getting to, because they're not even really looking at stuff on eBay. It's a different, more younger, more modern buyer collector.
I mean, that's you gotta have your hands in multiple baskets when it comes to that. Yeah.
Yeah. So once Card Dealer Pro kind of came up with the management thing, and especially without it being any additional expense, that obviously makes it a no-brainer. It's like, yep, Whatnot's going to be the place. I'm going to start spending a lot more time on there and getting a lot more listings. And it's fun how once you get some sales, you're like, yeah, this is going to work, because you got to have some results too, right? To really kind of kick your butt and keep it growing. So
Yeah, we just added another platform to our braking.
Oh,
So we started breaking. Well, we tested out a while ago, and then we had to move, and now we're back at it. But it's on loop.
yeah, you had mentioned that. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
how so? That's just braking, right? Is all that's
no,
on there?
they're breakers, and
Okay.
yeah, I mean, there's nothing else other than sports cards on it. It is just a sports card
Yep.
app, but
Okay.
they're really building out their singles collection that you can post on there. So it might be something you want to look at too, because they have like some really big changes coming up that they couldn't talk about, and they're doing more things to keep up with the Joneses, because they did lose some dealers and some breakers because their platform wasn't quite to the level of some of the other ones. But I talked to our rep Alex at the National, because they were at the Nationals running around, and I stopped and talked to them, and we're gonna be back breaking with them, and it's a different platform over there. So Whatnot, I feel, is more of a high energy, a lot of you got like a younger, I guess,
Yeah.
collectors, demographic there,
Yeah.
where Loop, I feel, is more of a collector's platform. You do a lot more.
Wheelhouse.
Yeah, you do a lot more personal boxes there than you do like rips. So people want to buy product and have it rip live instead of buying the breaks as much.
Sure.
As well as that's why they're really growing that singles platform, because the buyers in there who are singles buyers like ourselves, are looking for that product in there. So might be something just to put on your radar for future.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and there's so many platforms to list on, like buysportscards.com. There's, ComC, you can send stuff to them. And
now Fanatics Collect.
Fanatics Collect. I would love to be on all those, but there's gotta be a simpler way to do it. I'm not gonna take a $2 card and take a minute to list on 10 different platforms, right? And take 10 minutes. So I'm hoping Car Dealer Pro can keep building this out, and we can add more platforms on there. And honestly, that's probably going to be what would influence me to join on another platform.
Yeah.
Would I have jumped out and listed a bunch of stuff on Collects? No, but it's right there with the push of a button, and we're making sales on there. And, I'm not the only one. There's other people I'm posting in the Discord. Charlie's had some sales there, so. It's platforms that are building, like you said, so you don't, I get way more volume on eBay than I do anywhere else, of course. Yeah. But you're right, give these platforms a chance and try to help them build. And, if you can be a trendsetter on them, you can build some, length of service on there. That usually will help you too as a seller.
Yep.
Now, do you do eBay Live at all?
No.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
And even a lot of the big breakers I know that tested that when it first came out aren't doing it anymore either.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The perception of it, I didn't have I applied to do it and they wouldn't let me do it, which I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I have great numbers and a YouTube channel and like all these things that all these places want. And
I think it's just not as easy to get to. You know what I mean? Like when you go into Whatnot, boom, everything's right there. The people you watch, everything is right. Like with eBay Live, you got to go in, you got to find, and you're like doing more stuff. And then I think it's just it's almost like they have eBay, and then they have like you need to have a separate app that's eBay Live.
Yeah, and that's probably something they'll do at some point. But when I talked to the eBay Live rep last year at the National, so a good year and a month ago at this point.
Yeah, that was their big push last year, was getting that going.
Yeah, and it was in beta for like 3 or 4 months already at that point. I'm like, dude, it's a year later and you're still in beta. So I talked to this guy and, he was like, a paid dude for eBay to go around and pump up eBay Live, right? So he talks to me, he's like, oh, do you sell on eBay? I said, yeah, I've got this many listings, and yeah, I have a YouTube, and I've got this many followers. And he's like, you're exactly what we want in eBay Live, and this is how you're going to get on it, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do that. I'm like, great, that sounds good. I'll go. And then I applied and they're like, yeah, no. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. It's just the whole thing just kind of threw me to be less interested in it. I don't want I always look at this type of stuff as partnerships, right? So it should be a partnership with me and eBay, right? eBay wants to protect the buyer and make sure play their middleman and of course take their commission. And I want to be the seller, and eBay finds me buyers, so that's great. I pay them that commission to do that, and so on. Everybody wins, right? And then as soon as it's like, okay, well, you should want me, but we don't want you. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't want to pursue that then. Like, there's other avenues you can take, right? And I think Whatnot just does such a great job with it. And did you do the onboarding with them back in the day when you had to do like the video and all that stuff, or the
we got in with Whatnot almost during their beta. So
okay.
I started with Whatnot in just after COVID.
Okay.
So it's when they were like super new.
Yeah, I think I was a little later than that for sure, but it was probably like spring of 21, I think. So probably like 6 or 8 months after COVID, I think.
Okay.
If I'm thinking of the right time frame. So
in that range, but we've been breaking with them. We have 2 pages with them now, and each page has 15,000 followers between the 2 pages. But
wow, that's nice. Yeah, well done. Yeah, I think that's I really think that's going to be the place to be going forward. Now, have you done anything with Fanatics?
Out of a Percy box.
What's that one? Oh, nice.
Onyx Rookie Kings.
Dang.
Just pulled on there live out of a Percy box.
That is sweet.
Probably $150 for all or more.
Nice.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
Have you done anything with Fanatics? Have you sold with Fanatics at all?
No. So now that we have the new store, we're applying for allocation with Tops and Fanatics.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Because I don't know if you've ever seen their form to fill out to become and have allocation. Well, it's basically like signing up for a house.
Sure.
I mean, it's the amount of stuff that they want to know of, your financials from last year, this year. What singles you've sold, what wax you sold, by each NFL, hockey, whatever. They want to know what social media platforms you have. Do you have a website? Do you have a storefront? You got to send them all the pictures.
Sure.
And then, so you got to write an essay. It feels like it's pretty crazy. So now that we have all the things that qualify, because you have to be open so many hours a week, you have to be open so many days a week.
Okay.
And so you got to have all that stuff. So once, and then you have to apply for a brick and mortar allocation, and then you apply for a breakers allocation. Well, the breakers allocation the wait list is insane.
Sure.
But they are taking applications for brick and mortar applications. So that's what we're applying for now.
So let's say you fill out an application for brick and mortar. They send you a couple cases of a product, and what if you took those cases and did a break with them?
No, they run everything through your POS system. So they'll give you a separate allocation for breaks, separate for this, and you can't intertwine them.
Gotcha.
For 30 days.
Like how would they know?
For 30 days. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you have to have a POS system that's part of their program, which is there's like 4 or 5 of them.
Sure.
And then and then you send them your reports of your POS system so they can see where your quantities are being sold.
That's very interesting.
So then you're not backdooring it.
Right.
And you can't sell any new release product outside your POS system for 30 days after release.
Well, and you don't have to answer this question, but do they dictate what you can sell it for?
Your list price has to stay within a certain amount.
Okay.
Your retail.
Because I don't know, I'm thinking like, well, what if you take an allocation and the secondary market price, skyrockets on something? Can you raise your price?
Yeah. So the hard part is, when you get allocation, you get their release products and you get great prices.
Yep.
But in order to get more allocation, you have to buy their second run.
Yep.
Which is at a much higher price.
Yep.
And so if you don't buy that second run, you're not going to get more allocation. So you have to buy that at that higher price, which sometimes can be 20-30% more.
Jeez.
And then you're having to sell that in your shop as well. So yeah, it's tough. And plus they send you everything.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. It's a lot of shops that are like, well, they try to line up certain buyers for certain products ahead of time in a sense, so that they know, like, when they have to take an allocation, they at least got somewhere to put it.
And yeah, that's why we're trying to get it mixed with braking, because we can break anything.
Right.
We can put anything through a brake and move the product. So
yeah,
it's a finicky thing. As so, for the past few years, I've loved just building the relationships that I have with shops in the state and around the country, where they just get new release and they send it to me. And I would like to have it, not have that little I'd like to have those margins in the shop instead of paying somebody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and they were probably happy with that because, again, they had to get rid of their allocation. So they, like I said, they had a buyer they could put it to, right? They didn't have to sit on it. And yeah.
So the other thing about Fanatics too is your store has to look a certain way. You can't have anything on the counters. It basically has to look like a gallery. And it's very, very specific there. So I know Tim Sports Cards, he got he had to clean up his shop a bit, which he did, and it looks great. But I know that they came in here and basically said, you can't have anything on the counters, and it can't look like this, and you got to fix it. And so I went.
Oh, did we lose you? Yeah, can you repeat that? Because you kind of
I'm back. Somebody just called in.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep, I'm back.
I gotcha. Yeah, I don't know that much about Fanatics. I don't know a lot of people that are selling or even breaking on there, for that matter. So I'm trying to ask more people, like, is this a place to be or not? I mean, it's not really a place where I can sell. So, I haven't looked into it too far that way, but they're going to continue to grow that presence. I mean, they make the cards, so they're not going to going anywhere.
Well, the nice thing about Whatnot is it's an open community, and it's an open dialogue, and it's open music, and you can have as much fun as you want. And Fanatics is very, by the book, by the rules, can't, and so that's why we never went on TikTok either, is because you say the wrong thing, show the wrong thing on the feed, and they just cut you off, and you're done for the day, or possibly weeks. That's why we loved Whatnot in that sense, and same thing with Loop, is you make the platform your own and you run it how you want, and those are the type of people that you'll have come into your life. So that's why I haven't kind of really jumped to Fanatics yet.
Okay, good to know. Yeah. That's good information. So now that you got the new shop, and obviously you've added delivery, and you're trying to get allocations and things like that, and you've got your hangout spot. You're going to do trade nights. You're going to do draft parties. I assume you're going to maybe host events for like the Super Bowl kind of thing, right?
Correct. Yep.
So what's next? What do you want to do? Do you have like a future plan after? Do you want to get a bigger store later on, another location?
No, I think we, from what we built here, I think it's more of those small things, making sure that we have allocation, making sure that we have, when we're doing consignments and all those kind of things, that we have good processes and good equipment that we're using to make sure that those are being done the right way. So now just kind of finessing those small things to make the business just run a little bit smoother. With things like Car Dealer Pro, now that you can do multi-platform, which now makes me even a lot more curious about that. So yeah, just fine tuning things now that we have the space and we have the spot to do it. Now we just got to fine tune. So that does take some time.
Yeah, and you went from what you were doing, and I just rattled off a whole list of new things you got going on. So yeah, I can see where that's a lot to manage, and you got a staff, and you got to do all these things. You got the breaking down, you nailed that. You've had that for a long time, so you at least have that solid backing, and then you can kind of build from there. So I think that's awesome. It's kind of, we're sort of running into that with the Goat Show, which, by the way, is sold out already. For September 28th, we were sold out, I don't know, probably a week ago or so. We started our waiting list, so I did want to mention that. So if you're interested, anybody's out there is interested in tables, again, something I wanted to do that other shows didn't do was have a for sure amount of tables, but then some space where we could expand if it was plausible or necessary, so that so we could try to accommodate some wait list. Because I know at some shows, people are on wait list for years. Who wants that, right? So.
Yeah.
So anyway, we do have some space to work with. We do generally fill that up every show now too. But to your point with your shop, I kind of feel the same way about the show, because I've gotten a lot of questions saying, well, you should get a bigger venue, and you should do this, and you should do, and I'm like, I don't think so, because I like the way we run our show. I love the location. The staff there is great. They take care of us. There's plenty of parking. Location's good. Food is great. I love just one big open room. I don't want this thing where it's like you're going in this room and this room and this room and this room. Yeah. I hate that as an attendee at a show. So, and as a dealer, that can be tough, because then you're like, well, I don't want to be in that room. I want to be in this room, and I want to be in this corner. Well, I can't put everybody in that corner. Somebody's going to have to go in that room, if it's a place that's split up like that. So
how's the diversity for this show from Pokemon to sports?
What's interesting is we have less Pokemon dealers this time than we've ever had other than maybe the first show. The first show was very sports dealer dominated, but that's because nobody knew about the show, and I was out. Well, Charlie, all of us, our whole team, were out running around trying to get dealers, right? Yeah. So I was mainly pursuing sports card dealers, because that's all I know. I don't do Pokemon, so yeah. I do a little bit of Pokemon, not enough to know who to invite as the dealers. And then, kind of as the show got found out about, this has happened to every show, really, the Pokemon explosion. So, and I'm not against having Pokemon dealers, but
no, not at all.
But I do
need a good mix. That's all.
Yeah, I think I think there's demand, and that was the other thing. I didn't want to have a sports card show. I wanted to have a collectible card show.
Yep.
I want V Friends there. I want Star Wars cards there. I want. We've got a dealer who really specializes in like Japanese and Chinese exclusive like Disney products, and some other gaming stuff, some Yu-Gi-Oh and things like that. I think that makes a show a lot more fun. Anybody who shows up to our show and is interested in some sort of collectible trading card can probably find something there. And I don't know that every show can really state that. And I can't guarantee anything, of course. It still depends on the dealers and who's bringing what. But we spent a lot of time, I want to say, like curating our regular dealer list to include those that some sell junk wax, some sell brand new, like you're more of a newer, wax or a bigger wax dealer. I know there's some shows where you can't even sell wax at it, stuff like that.
Yep.
We didn't want to do that. We really wanted to sort of, customers want to come and watch a live break and participate in a break. You can do that at our show. Not every show does that.
Yep.
So we really wanted to offer something for everybody, to come and have fun at a collectible card show. But to go back to the earlier point of like, hey, you know what? I'm good right where I'm at right now, and I have so much stuff to perfect and really get to the level I want to be at. I think that's so smart, because a lot of time I talk about that a lot on just my own videos, and then the live here, and then also Discord, because we'll get a lot of new sellers in there, and they'll be like, I'm going to list my first 10,000 cards this weekend. And I'm like, do you have enough supplies to ship stuff? Do you have enough time to fill the orders? Do you even know how to work eBay well enough yet to handle 10,000 lists? Because I know there's these quick ways now to pump all this stuff on there, but that's a small piece of it. You have to be able to do, complete the rest of it. And so I really try to tell a lot of people, hey, slow down and try a few things and see how, even with this cross-listing thing, I'm like, don't just take everything you have and just throw it on these platforms if you don't know how they work, because as fast as, if you do a good job, you can build a following fast, and you can succeed quickly too, but you can also take yourself down very fast.
Yeah.
And when you're basically just an online presence, these people don't know who you are, you screw it up, and it's going to be pretty tough to recover it.
That's why
take a long time.
I like that you said that, because that's why we've never We've never gotten to the too big. We've gotten to a place where we're comfortable, because one thing that I worked at Bergstrom for umpteen million years, and so it was embedded in us, how we take care of our customers, or they call guests, and so it's like that's the first priority for us, and it's in the store, and it's in our breaks, and it's in the stuff that we do. So if you look across all our platforms, from Loop to Whatnot to Google to Facebook, everything is a 5-star rating everywhere. We've been on Whatnot for almost 4 years, and we have 50,000 items shipped with a perfect rating.
Wow.
So it's like we have almost 1,000 reviews, and it's like
That's amazing.
but that's what's important to us. Not that we just pump products that we make as much money as we can.
Right.
No, it's that we're delivering a good product, and that we live a decent life, and
Yep.
we can go home at the end of the night knowing that we have a clean conscience, and that we've done the right things. We have 1 to 2 day shipping. We take care of everybody's cards. If we screw something up, we just fix it and move on.
Yep.
It's never an argument. It's just, okay, yeah, not a problem. We'll fix it and move on. And so I think that's what's got us to the place where we are, is the customer base that we have now, not just locally but online, are very loyal, very dedicated to us, because we've treated them great. So
yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that, because that's another thing we spend a lot of time doing. Charlie and I do quite a bit of this in the Discord. Is a new seller gets somebody who claims they didn't receive a card, right? And, well, how do I know he didn't get it? And I think he got, I know I shipped it, and it's a $1.99 card, right?
Yeah.
And like, you just refund them. I mean, it's insured anyway, so you can just refund them and file the claim and get your money back, and then you don't piss off a customer who's probably not lying to you. I doubt they're trying to,
usually not, no.
Yeah. So you're right. You have to sort of pick those battles. And how much time do you even want to spend on that? Like, that's time you could take getting more listings done, doing more shipping, responding to more customers. When I started getting more heavy back into eBay, that was one of the things I learned that a lot of sellers weren't doing, was responding to anybody. They weren't replying to messages. They weren't, letting a customer know, hey, this was going to ship a day late because I was out of town, or this happened, or like, what happened to communication in business? It just died there for a while. Now it's picking up.
I think it's still a big problem.
It definitely is, but there's definitely sellers like you and I who are coming in and going, no, you can do this the right way. I worked in banking for a long time in sales, and it's like, just like you did with cars. It's, if you don't have the customers, you don't have anything. So what are you doing?
You don't have to fix the problem right there, but just respond.
Yes. Yeah. People just don't want to be left in the dark. Who likes that? Even if there's a lot of times where, in a lot of the jobs I've had, it's not transactional, right? So like, let's say I'm doing a mortgage, and somebody calls to buy a house. Well, that's not a 1-day project, right? That's a few weeks, and you got a realtor, and you got, all this stuff, and all these things you can't really, they're variables, right? Lots of variables. But, like, let's say I'm supposed to get an appraisal back and I don't have it today. I don't just say, well, I don't have it today, I'll wait till tomorrow. I talk to the customer and I say, hey, I know I'm supposed to have this today. I'm going to call the appraiser. I still don't have it. Just wanted to let you know where we are.
Yep.
Because in a transaction like that, people are, oh my God, my house, and I'm not going to close on time, and I'm not going to buy it, and I already got the mover set up, and blah, blah. Your mind just kind of explodes on stuff like that when you don't know what's going on. And it's not that hard. You just got to tell somebody where you're at, what's going on, and keep them in the loop. Everybody wants that. And for us, obviously you have the shop, but a good portion of your business is exclusively online. You got to talk to these people. Like, they don't know who you are. They don't know what you're doing day to day. They don't know I got a new puppy, and I'm chasing them down the road. Like, you have to participate. You got to let them know who you are, and building your brand.
People want to know when, we're starting a new shop, and how do we do this, and how do I do that, and all that stuff. And it's just, the longevity of companies that are that have longevity or have been doing it for a long time, is because they take care of, it's just because they take care of people. So you take care of people, people will take care of you. So it's pretty simple.
And it takes a lot more effort to get a new customer than it does to just like keeping one happy. I think,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
It does, yeah.
They give you business and you provide the business and the service that you promise them, and then they come back and do more business. Like there's no rocket science to a lot of that. And, and I talk a lot about building brand too. You want to separate yourself. One of the things that kind of held me back from Whatnot is there's a lot of negative things about Whatnot.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Lots of bad breakers and bad sellers and, people saying stuff on camera that just should not be on there. And you're right. They do give you the freedom to express yourself the way you want, which I do like, but there's also a big danger in that, right?
Yeah.
So like, well, do I really want to bring my brand there? And then, my customers or potential customers are going, you're on Whatnot? Isn't that kind of like sleaze land for selling? And what I realized is it doesn't have to be that way. I can be on eBay or I can be on any of those things. I can bring my brand. I can show them, what's good and what's just, and they can do good business with somebody on Whatnot. And the platform doesn't define me. I can define what I do on the platform.
Yep.
And I think that's the only way you can really think about it and be able to do that business. I don't work for Whatnot, right? I don't have any responsibility to what another breaker does in another,
Nope.
part of the country. So you got to do you. And
I relate, just like you said, I relate that to like everyday business all the time. Like, it doesn't matter, from one dealer to the next, if you're a car dealership, or one gas station to the next, or one shoe store to the next. People are going to treat people they want to treat them, but they still need a product. They still got to have that, so they're going to go somewhere and get it. But if they know they can go to BB Sports Cards, and they'll get treated right, they'll get great shipping and things will happen, they're going to come back. And they might veer off and like, I'm going to try this breaker one time. Nope, that's exactly why I don't do this. I'm going back here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just real life. It doesn't matter if it's this industry or another industry. It's just real life.
Well, and you don't even have to go to BB Sports. They'll come to you now. So
yeah, we'll deliver to you.
You have no excuse, people. You need to buy your wax from BB Sports Cards, do your breaks with BB Sports Cards.
Yep.
When I first approached you at Appleton, we were at a card show in Appleton.
Yeah, I remember
the Fox Cities, and I said, hey, I'm looking for a breaker. This is what I want to do with my show. And you're like, I don't know who this guy is. And, and I didn't expect you to, but you were willing to listen to me and say, hey, I think, maybe this guy would have something to offer where we can both, do something good for our customers, do something good for our community. And, you gave me the time to kind of tell you about what I was trying to do with the show and why I wanted breaking. And, I wanted an entertainment addition to the show. And, we're doing these things for kids, and we've got this charity tie-in and, all these things that I thought were, something that was really going to make our show stand out. You were interested in it. And I was very thankful for that, because I didn't know, how that would be received by a breaker, right? Breaker come to my show, like, what am I going to do that, so once we could kind of nail down all the technical stuff and it really made some sense, I think it's really good. I'm really excited to keep it growing and get some more people buying into the breaks. And you sold out the last break, right?
Oh yeah, easily. Yeah. And I think we're going to bring a little bit more entertainment value to this one too, with
nice.
Interacting with the crowd and doing some fun stuff that my wife and I are talking about of how we can be just a little bit more energetic and be more involved with people going by and walking around.
Awesome.
And stuff like that. So
and certainly if you need anything from us, let us know. You want to put your breaker in a costume, I can hook them up. I got some pretty cool costumes. I did a lot of professional style costuming for a long time. We can make something cool happen. But yeah, I like that. That's we've gotten to the point with this. When you start a new show, just like a new shop, right? There's just so many like things you have to do, right? It's not the stuff you really want to do per se.
Yeah.
But you gotta set up your POS system. You gotta get your accounting down. You gotta have advertising. You gotta clean the shop up and paint the walls and do all that. So I get that part of it from my perspective on building a show, where it was like, I need dealers. Okay, then I got to tell customers to come, and then I got like that stuff is all happening pretty much on its own now.
Yeah.
We have our regular advertising pushes. We do our AI goat, posts, which is I think a lot of fun. And yeah, we get a lot of positive feedback about that. We take advantage of, there's a day for everything now, right? Like it's today's donut day, today's black pen day, we take advantage of that. And we're like, oh my gosh, it's like newspaper day. We got to put a goat eating a bunch of newspapers out there,
Yeah.
So now we're really just starting to build on a lot of the fun stuff and trying to add some value. Not charging anybody for parking, not charging anybody for admission.
Yep.
Keeping the table fees the same. We're not necessarily trying to add a bunch of expense or anything like that. Just adding some better experience and some broadening experience and some more fun. And just having people really be excited for, hey man, it's the GOAT show this weekend. Can you believe it? How much fun is this going to be? Versus, there's a show in Madison this week. Not to pick on the show in Madison. I didn't intend that, but I want there to be some excitement, some reason to be there besides the fact that we've got awesome dealers and great, cards for people to buy and games to play and things like that. So we're really we want to do some merchandise. We get a lot of requests for merchandising. Hey, I want a GOAT show t-shirt. So we're going to focus on that and getting some, we've got a little bit extra money right now, which always helps. We can buy some stickers and do some different things that, we're getting a lot of demand for. And I think that'll be a lot of fun, fun to add. Everybody wants a sticker for their little, PSA tote case, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, mine's loaded. Every time I go to Nationals, I grab a ton of that stuff.
Get a whole bunch of them. Yeah. So yeah, I applaud you. I think it's awesome how far you've gotten, with the new shop, and things are humming along. And so where are you at for a staff level? Are you, because I think you had like 2 full-timers, right? Last time we talked.
We have 2 full-timers.
Okay.
We had to kind of move things around just because we didn't know, even just in the first week, the amount of foot traffic that we're getting is crazy. Outside of where we were in the last spot. So we have Bob, who is our full-timer. We got Fred, who's our full-time breaker. And then we're bringing on Ben and Lunch Pail, who are going to be part-time breakers. And then we have Fred's son, Dalton, who's my nephew, who is now doing sorting of all the breaks and working part-time in the shop when I need him to. So it's, running a shop is, you cannot do it on your own. My wife does this full-time with me. So she does all the accounting and she does all the shipping. So it's like you have to do all this stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. We hired an accountant last year, just to make sure we were doing everything correctly, and and we're adding employees, and now we're self-employed, and we went from a C corp to an S corp, because there's more beneficial things that way. So there's a whole bunch of different sides to the business that when people think like, I just want to open up a card shop. Well, great. That's awesome. Yes. Open up a card shop, but you're going to learn a lot along the way. So it's fun.
Yeah. And I think that, again, that's kind of like I said earlier about those of us who get experience in our areas, it's important to tell the new excited people coming in, like, okay, but there's also this, oh my God, you sell sports cards full time for a living. I want to do that. So I'm going to do this and this and this and this. And it's like, dude, I've been doing this for 7 years. It's not like day one I went full time and magically 60,000 pieces of inventory showed up on eBay. It's a lot of build.
The amount of capital that you need to have when you run a sports card shop, and also have enough product for breaking, the amount of revolving capital is insane.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Moves on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
So,
it's funny. I had a buddy who managed a Circuit City. Remember Circuit City?
Oh yeah. We had one here in town.
So I had a buddy who managed a Circuit City, and he was telling me one day, and this was like 30 years ago, so this money mattered more back then than the amount doesn't seem as much now. But they had a day where it was like 400,000 in a day, right, in sales. And I said, "Oh, that's awesome." But he said, "Yeah, but like our PO orders or like the money they owed for like the products that they brought in," he said was like 380,000. They're like, that doesn't seem like there's like, he's like, yeah, the margins suck on electric. Hence why they went out of business. But that's just it. You can tell everybody your sale, my sales figures look great too. But yeah, I have to constantly buy, collections and, I bought 20,000 cards or whatever at the National. You're just constantly putting that money back in, and it. I think you're right. Your smartest way to start out is to just put all your money back into it. Try to if you eventually want a salary, that's great, but it's not going to start day one. You need to just keep reinvesting and keep building and build assets or whatever. Inventory, whatever you need to do to.
You can ask my wife too. When I first started kind of doing this full time and I was still working at Bergstrom, everything I made from card shows and everything I made from selling is right back in the business, everything. So I didn't really spend much on myself, which I still don't. I'm not a big person that I don't spend much. My wife makes me buy things because I just don't spend money on myself. Everything we make, I put back into the business. So, but I think on the flip side of that, it's always good if people have questions too. You can always reach out to us. I'm very open book on, how things work here and numbers like we run our breaks in the shop and we have the live breaks in the shop too, so you can watch the breaks live and it shows all our numbers on there, shows how much money we made in the break, how much items we sold. It's not a secret, what I mean. That's why it's like, so if you want to see how much but what people don't understand is how much the product costs,
right? That's my point. I think everybody looks at, oh my God, they have these sales, and yeah, but you have to buy this stuff. Like, I don't know why that part always gets forgotten, but it's, when I go, like for example, in a quarter box at the National, I found a first edition Blasted Billy. Do you know Garbage Pail Kids at all?
Oh yeah. I like to collect the first, second edition.
Well, then you know exactly what I found. Decent condition, I would say, in very good condition, right? If I were to grade it, it does have the matte checklist back. None of it was marked, so good there. Got it out of a quarter box, and I sold it.
What they had?
Yeah, of course. And this is a dealer, which is kind of weird. And I found a ton of good stuff from this dealer. I wish I would have made a video about all the stuff I just found from him, but I didn't. So anyway, that's is what it is. But I sold it for $62.99. But wow. I still think yeah, exactly. Ironically enough, it was the first card I ever got an offer for on Whatnot, because I had just started doing Whatnot when I listed that. But I ended up making a full price sale on eBay, which was also great. But when I talk about a sale like that, I always put in this is what I paid for it. Because I think everybody leaves that out. Oh, I sold this Zion Williamson PSA 10 for $200. Okay, well, great. Well, what did you pay for it? Did you pay $180 for it? Like, you have to show like margins and stuff like that, because all that stuff matters. Even when we're talking eBay sales, I'm like, okay, well, I sold it for this much, but it costs, it was a promoted listing, so I owe eBay this much, and the eBay backend fee, and then this much for shipping and shipping supplies, and I try to be as transparent as I possibly can, because I'm talking to other people who are selling or potentially going to be sellers, and I feel a responsibility to them that they have all the information, before they go into it. And you're building your credibility online with these people who are buying into these breaks, and there are some bad breakers out there. There's some,
for sure,
negative space in that world. So by you saying, this is what it costs and this is what I sold it for, and that's just going to instill confidence in your buyers, and they know, like, hey, he's doing well. He's constantly breaking on here. He's going to get more product. He's going to come through and get everything shipped to me. And
we talk about margins to our customers all the time, because we buy a lot in store, collections, just like you, or we buy,
sure.
We buy, people bring in sealed wax. We buy all that stuff. We talk margins all the time. And we offer good amount. So like we usually like we'll buy all raw cards at like 70%, and we'll buy graded cards between 80 and 85%. And
Nice.
so it's like people are like, well, how can you buy at that? I'm like, because it's not, like, well, I was just at a store in X town that offered me, 50% on the cards I brought in. And I said, well, that's the difference between what we do and another card shop. I said, we work on small margins, but we work on quantity.
Right.
So we're not
That's what I
trying
do too.
to same thing. We're not trying to rake
Yeah.
over the coals. We're just
Yeah.
we have a margin we got to get on each product, and then it's real simple. So
Sometimes I look at it like, especially if I'm buying a big enough quantity from someone, there's usually a few in there where you can squeeze a pretty good margin out.
yeah, for sure. If you're buying, you're spending a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah. So I always feel like, okay, well, as long as I find like a couple of big winners, I can pay up a little. I can pay up a little bit on the ones that aren't as great of winners.
So we just bought out a gentleman who came into the shop. We went to his basement, and I don't know if you saw my video on our Facebook, but so we went down his basement, and
I did not yet. No.
He has the most amount of starting lineups and action figures I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm talking thousands.
Okay.
Yeah, and but he had wax down there, and I worked a deal with him. He works in it. He lives in Appleton. The gentleman, he's in his 70s, mid 70s, wants to start moving through his product, and I told him I wanted to buy all his wax from him. But the problem is he had a lot of it. It was like under stairs. It was in there. It looks like mice had eaten a bunch of it. He had some water damage. So and I just told him, he's like, well, I want, X amount for this. And I said, look, I'll give you a down payment. I said, then we're going to come in, we're going to take all the wax out of here, every single box you have, and then we're going to bring it back to the shop. I'm going to inventory it. I said, we're probably going to have to throw a lot away. And so we actually, we filled up a whole trailer in the back of 2 SUVs. There was so much wax in there.
Wow.
And we ended up wiping down every box, every single pack before we brought it in the shop. And by the time we went through, we threw away probably 5 to 6 40-gallon bags of wax that had rodent feces on it, water damage. And so, his amount that he wanted for it was like 10 to 12,000, right? And so, I told him by the whole thing was when everything was all said and done, I gave him 6,200 for all of it because of how much we had to throw away. Not to mention it took a whole day to get it upstairs, in boxes, trailer it. All those things take into consideration when you buy a lot like that is how much time did it take you to do it, clean it, organize it, when you buy collections, and this is just all those people out there, you have to take your time as how much you're going to pay for the collection, not just the value of it itself.
Yeah,
how much time is it
absolutely.
going to take you to list it, inventory, clean it, all that kind of stuff. So, and the collection I feel is worth about 15 to 20,000. But we bought it for 62. But I'd also had to pay 4 guys for the day to do it.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's gonna, and 80s, 90s, and some 70s wax is gonna take a
bit.
long time to go through.
Yeah.
So it's there's no cut and dry answer. But yes, to your point, we had higher margins on that because of what it entailed to get that kind of product.
Correct. Yeah. Now, one of the things, have you ever done a pack sale on whatnot?
Or we love them. Yeah, we'll we actually do a wheel.
Okay.
We'll do like a 500 pack wheel. And then we'll put a few big slabs in there and some hobby packs and some vintage packs.
Sure.
And people will come in and they'll bid on a pack. Some packs go for $1, some go for $5, some go for 10. And that's fun.
So are they bidding on a spin and then you spin and whatever it lands on is what they get?
Yep.
Oh, that's brilliant. I like that.
They're all sealed products. All sealed products.
Sure. Yeah, great idea.
The breakers like running those, but it takes up a lot of inventory.
Yeah, we're all sure. Yeah, but it's fun though. It's something different, right? I mean, in a way, isn't that kind of?
Fred just said it takes 4 hours just to build it. So,
well, yeah,
because you got to put every single listing in there.
Yeah, you can't do that by like just item number 1, item number 2 kind of thing, right? You have to actually list.
Well, the nice thing that whatnot, because they're so good at like innovation and fixing problems and making your breaks easier, but they finally got it down where if you've listed a break ever, you go back there and select that same break and just run the same thing again, just like that. No more building it while you're live, which was a massive change.
Yeah, that sounds like it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Excellent. I think we should do some chat. We haven't even looked into the chat at all yet. Are you ready to see what's out there?
Questions going, get some people in here.
Let's see what's in here. Where did I go? There I am. Okay, so we've got Snappy's here. Well, happy Wednesday, bruh. Happy Wednesday to you as well. Howdy, folks. I'm upright for a few minutes. I thought I would check in for a few minutes. That's from our boy Charlie there. So hopefully you're feeling better.
Hope you're
proud of me and my tech efforts for this evening. I figured a lot out today. I'll talk to you tomorrow about it. Exactly. It's a hangout with people with like hobbies. He's referring to our conversation basically an hour and a half ago about the basically the environment of Whatnot is just such a hangout, and people are enjoying that. We saw Diana was here. Welcome. Thanks for joining the show.
That's Mrs. BB.
Mrs. BB.
Yeah.
I expect you guys to be on when you're not, hosting too, right? You're going to join us some more weeks going forward.
Yeah.
When you got time on Wednesday nights. Yeah.
People would much rather see her than me anyway. So.
I get that in my life too, so I get it. Of course, I posted here. It's bbsportscard.com.
Yep.
So go there if you're looking for your wax. If you're in the area here, Green Bay, Appleton, Oshkosh area, Valley area, you can place your order. You can place the order right on bbsportscard.com, right? If you want a delivery. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Diana acknowledges us. Appreciate you. If I still spent time in the bars, I would be in trouble. After a few, I'd be calling in some card delivery. So I think he's referring to, drinking while breaking type of thing.
That's what we want.
Having some beers in the store and breaking some wax, and I can see us going down there on a Friday night, and the wives are out doing something and just coming out and having some beers and opening some packs. Sounds amazing to me. Diana did confirm that there is a delivery fee.
Yeah. Charlie, it's a $25 delivery fee unless you order $200 or more.
200.
It's free delivery. Yeah.
Perfect. That seems more than reasonable. I mean, you got to charge something if it's going to be a smaller delivery. You'd never.
Yep.
You never make it up. So cool to actually catch part of the interview live this time from Lunch Pail. So that's one of your guys, right?
Yeah, he's actually Lunch Pail is a great guy. He works on the railroad.
Okay.
So he's in that union, but he's also one of our part-time breakers.
Awesome. Welcome, Lunch Pail. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining the show. It made me think of Clerks, right? And Jay always calls Silent Bob, Lunchbox.
We call him all kinds of different stuff too.
Yeah. Lunch Pail says Giannis signs in the next update. He's referring to the Bo Jackson set. Yeah, Giannis has autos. So does Flavor Flav.
Oh, that's sick.
Yep.
Flavor.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so awesome to see him like in front of me. I was like, this guy's real, because
I miss his reality show. That was awesome.
Yeah, I did too. Well, I mean, I was fans of him when I was a kid, with he was the original hype man, Yep. He was like the star of the group, and he didn't do anything. He would just come out, yeah, boy, and that was it. And he had the clock, and like the whole just gimmick monster. He was just awesome. And he comes out on stage, and he's like, none of this would be possible without you. Can I get a hell yeah? And he's getting everybody going, and it's just awesome the amount of energy the dude has.
Yep.
So again, to reiterate, the address for your shop is 2310 West College Avenue in Appleton, Wisconsin, correct?
Correct.
Diana says that would be amazing to have. I'm not quite sure what she's referring to. I don't remember.
She was like an hour ago about the Car Dealer Pro. Yep.
It is amazing to have. Yeah. If you guys ever want, any information on it or anything, Charlie and I are talking about doing another demo at the goat show.
We probably want to have, if we ended up getting at the shop here, I'd probably want to have you come in for.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. That'd be fun. Yeah, we have some beers and do some Car Dealer Pro.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pretty amazing platform. Now for the cost, it's really worth it. It was kind of like sort of worth it, in my opinion. I love
caught my attention.
Yeah, I love the branding banners. I don't know if you saw that earlier when I was sharing the screen, how it has like my logo banner underneath the photo, so you kind of like watermark your photo without just putting something on the picture of the card, which you kind of don't want to do. I don't want to do anyway. Yeah, so I like that part. So yeah, there's all kinds of little like things you can add in there that make it extra special. I had to scrap quantity listings for now unless I have a stack, and then I will put them aside and list via CSV and quantity. So it's kind of referring to what I was talking about earlier, how quantity is like the one challenge that the beta just hasn't been able to overcome at this time. So I talked about just uploading it through CSV and then downloading it back to Car Dealer Pro. Charlie said what he's doing is he's just putting those cards aside for now. My suggestion would be don't put the whole quantity aside. I would still just list one, copy. So at least you have a copy listed out there to try to sell. If they fix quantity later, you can simply go in and change the quantities and you're good.
Okay.
If they don't, at least you have the one out there for sale. If it sells, you can just upload another one. So if you want to still do the direct listing, but the way Charlie wants to do it, that works great too. It just prevents you from listing something. I don't like to be prevented from listing something. When I want it to go, I want it to go. Diana was responding to my puppy news. I'm sure on that one there.
She's a huge dog lover. She picked up one on the way home on the way home today.
Really?
Yeah, there was a dog in the middle of the road and had a collar on. She picked it up, put it in her car, brought it home, called the Humane Society and all that stuff, and then they brought it there. It was chipped, and the owner was picking it up as she was leaving. So yeah, she's super good.
That's awesome.
That way. Yeah.
Yeah, my wife would do the exact same thing. So that's excellent.
All I said was keep it in the backyard. Do not bring that dog in the house.
Right. Especially if you have other dogs, like that can be, that can not go well.
Yep.
The last dog I found, we ended up keeping. That was quite a few years ago now. We had a boxer at the time. We were contemplating getting a second dog, and a friend of ours worked at like an asphalt place, I guess is the best way to put it. So overnight they had like their rollers and their bulldozers and all that stuff parked overnight, and then they would just kind of hop back on them the next morning. Yeah. Well, this little dog when they would leave at night, he would jump in the engine block of the bulldozer, right? Because it was warm. This was like October time or whatever. But he would sleep in there overnight. So when the guys would get to work, they would coax him out of there with like a sandwich or something. He'd get something to eat, and then he'd go away, and he'd come back again the next night. So anyway, she eventually called us and said, we got this little dog. I know you guys are looking for a second dog. So sure enough, my wife went out there, picked him up, brought him home, and
that would have been mine too.
We named him Dozer. I mean, it just fit, right?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a great name.
Yeah. Dan has joined us. Oops, I passed out this evening. What's up, all? What's up? Dan, our buddy out in Cleveland, thanks for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you. Where is my goat mug? So, yeah, he's responding to my the merch conversation.
Yeah.
I think mugs would be awesome. So one of the ideas I had for a goat mug, tell me if you think this is great or if it's stupid, but you ever see the mugs that like change once you add temperature to them, right? The picture changes. Yep. I want to have one where it's like just the goat head, but then when you put the hot coffee in it, he opens his mouth like it's screaming, and then the cards are coming out, because that's kind of what our logo is. Yep. I think that would be awesome. So we'll see.
Everybody has their favorite coffee mug.
They do. Merchandising, I've done a lot of merchandising. I still run a business that does merchandising, and that's its own set of hassle for sure. So we'll see how far we want to get into that. Wow, Lunch Pail donated $20. Thank you so much. You didn't have to do that. BB Sports Cards and Dollar Box for the win. Yes, thank you. Benji, if you ever want to bring anybody else on too, any of your staff and have them talk about breaking or, I'd be happy to have to do that as well. We're really trying to expand on the live Wednesday shows and add in more different perspectives and, different people. I think that adds to the fun. And
I should bring my buddy, one of my buddies on, who's a real big, and he does the Car Dealer Pro as well, but he's real big on that single side as too. So he might be a fun one to bring on just to get a different perspective of because he runs his own business full time and then does that part time.
Okay,
but it just he's the one who's real big into that 13 Select right now. Who hit a Brady Gold?
He hit one.
Yeah.
What? Well, he must be ripping a ton.
Well, he did rip quite a bit, but he definitely got his money back, and he hit that card, and then we took it to Nationals to get graded by BGS. BGS graded a 9, which it wasn't a 9. So he stood in line for another 4 hours and had it reassessed, and they gave it a 9.5.
Wow.
So it turned from like a $30,000 card to an $80,000 card.
Well, it was worth us 4 hours then.
Yeah.
for 4 hours to get a median year's salary out of it. Yeah, that's solid move for sure. Yeah, I would love that. And I always like to have, would he be good on camera?
Yeah, he's
okay. I always like to get different users for the different platforms too, because I feel like that's the best way I learn is to see how, like, because there's so many different ways you can do stuff. I mean, it is it can be a very individualized business, like you have a shop and you do breaking, and then there's other people who just do breaking, and there's people who have just a shop and, do low end like me, and then there's high end, and then there's flippers, and then there's people who buy raw and grade. And like, there's so many fun ways to participate in the hobby. It's great to get other people on there doing other stuff. Boom Slang is here. Yo. He only used one yo, which is correct. You can't use 3 yo's. That's mine.
And you can't be a yo-yo.
So I go over this often on the live, but you probably haven't heard it. So yo is a greeting. Yo-yo is a toy. Yo is Adam's catchphrase. So that's the difference between the three. Okay. So, and you can't get them twisted. All right. Lunch Pail says, I can't see what that is. Microphone.
They're trains for working on the railroad.
Oh, got it. What is that first one? Is that like the train coming at you?
Yeah, a train coming at you.
Oh, jeez. You have much better vision than I do.
I can see it on the computer.
Diana's telling you to quit talking about her, I'm guessing.
Yep.
We can get her on here.
I know. She hates me.
That would be fun.
Hates it.
He needs a mem card that's a small working watch. I'm not sure who he's referring to on that one. Mem card that's a small working watch.
I don't know. Lunch Pail, what are you talking about if you're still in here?
Yeah, what does that mean? Is he in your store right now? Is he there?
No, he's on the live. I think he's working right now.
Oh, okay.
So he's working on our Fearless Railroad while he's in the chat. So
fair enough. Snappy wants to know when we're going to make a return of Hobby or No. So I was just talking to Charlie about this a couple days ago, and that's definitely something we're going to bring back. So to bring that to light for you, Benji, what we do once in a while on the lives is we'll do we'll present a card, right? So we'll have, this card will come up on screen, like not like this, but like in a real, a real window. And we'll say, does this card have Hobby or No? And we kind of make the argument of, would there be a buyer for this? Could you make money on it? And we do it based on like a certain buy-in price. So like he's asking about a quarter box. So the assumption would be you bought this card for a quarter. Will you make money on it if you sell it, essentially? And that's what we do. Because one of the things I talk a lot about, especially with new sellers, is not every player has collectors. And players you would think have hobby don't necessarily have hobby. Players you would think that don't have hobby do have hobby. So we talk a lot about like, okay, well, I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. The one that comes to mind right now is Jason Kelce, right? I buy Jason Kelce stuff, or Pat Tillman. That's a better example. I use Pat Tillman. So I find Pat Tillman in quarter boxes all the time. It's crazy. And I mean, the guy's a national hero, right? So based on, I mean, he was a good football player too, but the resale value isn't necessarily in that. It's more of his accomplishments off of the field. So there's a lot of players that just have hobby that you wouldn't necessarily pop into your mind. So we do the hobby or no. So generally Charlie will put a card up and I'll say, let's say this is a parallel, right? I'll say, well, it probably doesn't have much hobby like that, but it's the blue parallel, which adds a little bit about, and we kind of discuss if we get to it having real hobby value. Anyway, that's it. Diana says she's coming on the show. So it's all set up for next time. And we're caught up in the chat. We didn't have that much chat tonight. What's going on with that?
Last time.
Come on, you guys. Crazy. Yeah, come on. Yeah, I know. They don't want to listen to just me. Not that you're not participating, but I mean, we don't have Charlie. I think that's the hook there. We don't have the Charlie on here tonight. So sorry, guys.
The Charlie.
The Charlie. Yeah, it wasn't my doing. The flu bug got to him, and so yeah, you're stuck with me tonight, unfortunately. But I do want to thank you, Benji, for agreeing to be my co-host tonight. It went for me contacting you last night and surprising you to be on a show, and you're like, wait, that's tonight? I'm like, oh no, it's Tuesday. To today saying, Charlie's out, can you host? Yep, I can do that. So appreciate your flexibility and willingness to help me out with the show tonight. I've done the show a few times all by myself, but man, it's so much harder when you don't have, like, I can talk to people in the chat, but it's not the same as having, a true video verbal conversation as you go. It's a lot tougher. If you're ever
in a pinch, just hit me up.
For sure. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. I did have somebody, I'm going to share my screen one more time on something here. I did have somebody ask me that's looking at doing Whatnot, selling fixed on Whatnot, cross posting from Card Dealer Pro, and they wanted to know what the expenses were or what how Whatnot worked for the pricing. So I'm just going to show them one of my sales, or show all of you one of my sales so that you can get an idea of what that looks like. Pretty simple card. It was a $3 card sale, so pretty average. So I'm going to bring this up here. So if you look over on the right here, you'll see the card. So it's a 1978 Harold Carmichael. You know who Harold Carmichael is, right? Do you know vintage? Do you know vintage at all?
Not as good as a lot, but I should.
Okay. He was a hell of a receiver for the Eagles in the 70s. Amazing, talented, underrated player in my mind. But this is actually a great example of what I was just talking about. This dude has hobby. So if you find his cards in quarter boxes, they sell very easily. All right. Anyway, so this card sold for $3. Ignore the address there. I probably shouldn't have put that on screen, but it's there. So $3 it sold for. The buyer pays the tax, so just like eBay. So Whatnot collects 18 cents from the buyer to cover that tax. And then this is the earnings breakdown. So it's very simple. $3 was the price. Remember, Whatnot takes any listing you have of something that's not a full dollar and they round it down. Okay, so if you had this card, for example, listed on eBay for $3.49, when you list it on Whatnot, it's going to show up at $3 unless you go in and change it. So anyway, so it's sold for $3 flat. The commission is 8%, so that equals 24 cents. And then the payment processing fee. So this is your interchange fee or whatever you want to call it for accepting the card payment, running the card payment. It's 2.9% plus 30 cents. Okay, so pretty standard for the financial transaction fee. They kind of break it down here if you hover over the exclamation point. They multiply the total order value, which unfortunately does include the tax, because the tax is collected as part of the payment. So $3.18 in this case, which includes shipping paid by the buyer and the tax, by 2.9%. And then they add that 30 cents on top of it. So that equals 39 cents there. Excuse me. Shipping is nothing because, of course, you're not paying any shipping. The buyer pays the shipping. Oh, that's interesting. Zero shipping paid by the buyer, zero shipping paid by me. Huh. I just noticed that. Did you ever notice that, Benji? When you have a sale, does it show like because you have the buyer pay the shipping?
Yep.
Does it show shipping paid by buyer on there? When you look at a sale?
I'd have to look individually.
Just curious.
Yeah.
I just noticed that now. I know I'm not paying for the shipping, so I'm guessing the buyer has to.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, so the shipping doesn't matter, doesn't come out of your earnings. So my total payout on that is $2.37. So losing 63 cents total on a $3 sale. So hopefully that helps everybody who kind of asked what the breakdown is when you sell something on an individual card and whatnot.
Let's see. I just want to look now once because we just ended a show, so I want to look into one of these and see.
You can share your screen if you know how to do that. If you want to. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
See that's what I'm doing now. I'm actually using both. So I thought about I've been trying to solve my tech issues on here.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to log in on my laptop, but then hide my camera and my mic so that I don't get the feedback and all that. Just so I can use the computer functions for sharing and that kind of thing. But then I do all the streaming on the phone. So the beauty of that is normally when you share a screen, you can't see the video, right? You just see what's on your screen.
Yep.
But I can see both because I have the video on my phone, so I can see what the viewer is seeing on my phone.
So
like I can
actually here.
You can turn it around.
So we had
shipping paid by buyer.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wonder why mine says zero shipping paid by the buyer and zero shipping paid by the seller.
Yeah, so yours should show here.
Yeah.
This is zero.
How does that work? I wonder.
I don't know.
Something more to look into. Either that. You know what? I know why. Because I haven't shipped it yet.
Oh.
So it won't do that until you create the label, I bet. So let me test that theory. I have one that I just shipped. So let me look that one up and see what that looks like. And there it is. Okay, I'm going to share this again so you can see it. So I solved the conundrum. Let's take a look here. So let's go to back to the Whatnot screen. So this is an example then of one I shipped. This one was really cheap. You're going to love this. This was a Contenders James Worthy card. I accepted an offer. So normally I wouldn't accept an offer of 80 cents on a card, but I'm trying to build up transactions and whatnot and followers and stuff. So, it's a loss leader, right? No, I didn't actually lose money on this, but I didn't really make on it either. Anyway, sold it for 80 cents. Buyer paid the tax of the 38 cents and because they pay tax on the shipping as well. Shipping paid by the buyer was $4.35. Remember, they won't let you do envelope shipping on fixed listings at this point. I'm going to keep asking about that relentlessly because that's going to be a game changer for my business on here to get back to the envelope shipping. Anyway, 80 cents. Commission was 6 cents, so 8%. Processing 2.9% plus 30 cents, so that's 46 cents. I don't cover any of the shipping, so I get 28 cents out of that card. I probably got it out of a dime box, and after a bulk pricing, probably paid 5 to 8 cents for it. So I made a few pennies on it, but I got a new customer. He's following me, and I'm going to complete the order. I completed the order, shipped it out right away, and because they don't offer envelope shipping, I don't chintz out on my shipping either. I don't stick it in an envelope. I'm, top loading it, bagging it, putting it in a padded envelope. If they're going to pay $4.35 for shipping, I'm going to give them a extra high quality shipping for that value. So there you go. That's how that pricing breakdown works. When you get an order, if anybody else has any questions on selling on Whatnot or collects or any of those things, I'm happy to help. All right, let's see here. Oops, wrong screen. Let me get back to this. Stop sharing. Here we go. Yeah, I'm getting kind of good at this, Benji. I can almost navigate this thing. I could be a breaker.
Anyway, yeah. Well, you're already on the platform, so
it's true. Yeah, I definitely want to pick up my. I'm not going to break, but I definitely want to pick up my live single selling shows on there and start doing more regular shows. This is really opening the door for that. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Boomslang, yeah.
Setting up our OBS has been a chore.
That's what Lunchpail said here. So talk about that. What's the challenge?
It's just because each platform, it doesn't matter if it's Loop or if it's Whatnot, they have their own way you have to use OBS within their platform. So you just have to learn so you have to learn all their settings and all that kind of stuff. And the imaging doesn't come the same way as it does from one platform to the next. And so we have it down now. So both break stations have OBS Live. The only thing that we found out that's a real kicker is using a phone as your camera, which is fine, but your phone's going to be on Wi-Fi. You can't hardwire your phone. So we're going to be getting actual hardwired cameras for the break to break with, so that you don't have the lag or any Wi-Fi issues from your phone. So
and that's kind of nice too, because then you still have the phone, like if you needed it for some reason, outside of that. I mean, it might be handy that way too.
Phone works great, but not it doesn't work great with OBS.
Yeah.
as your camera.
What if you used a because I assume you're using like here, let me show you what I'm talking about. It's going to be easier to show you than to talk about it. So this is one that I use for my laptop to hardwire my laptop to the internet. So you've got your cat line cable and then your C.
Yep.
So you can plug that into your phone. Would that work? I haven't tried it, but
I don't know. Never tried it. I wonder if that would work.
Yeah, because these dongles are like $5 on Amazon, super cheap and easy to get. And
Lunchpail's my IT guy, so Lunchpail. Wonder if that
it's got
works.
C on one end. Yeah, because I don't have a like an internet port, a direct internet port on my laptop. So this is what I use to connect directly to the internet.
Okay.
So I mean, it's going to be data only, obviously, but I think that all you're doing is video anyway, right?
Yep, just video. That's all. Speed ran for OBS, or just video. But I think it's better if we just if we just get a camera.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to worry about apps, and you don't have to worry about something else in the phone causing it to lag or do other problems or.
Yeah, well, and anytime the only downside is to anytime you're doing anything on Wi-Fi, you always have that risk, right?
Yeah.
So you cut out the Wi-Fi, that's going to be a big help.
Yeah, because when we did the build out here, we hardwired all the computers, all the TVs, everything.
Yeah, that's the right way to go for sure. Boomslang says he's asked about it. I've been asked about it in the past about doing Whatnot, and I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I mean, obviously you've got a couple of supporters on the cameras here right now saying it's a good place to be. It's kind of funny because I was just listening to a let's call him an influencer, right, on YouTube, making a video about who's going to win in the live auction platform in the end, and they were all saying like Fanatics, right? Because Fanatics has the monopoly and this and that. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know anybody who shops on Fanatics. I don't know that I buy that. Maybe a long time down the road, but I think Whatnot's going to be king for quite a while.
Oh yeah.
If not forever.
On Fanatics is not even in the percentages of what's on Whatnot.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, when I was at I was really surprised at the National. Like, people were just raving about Whatnot. Like, oh, I love shopping on Whatnot, and I only sell on Whatnot, and like it was like the thing.
Well, you can buy anything on that platform.
Yeah, true. That's true. So here's something really cool. So when you're watching like YouTube videos, right, the commercials are sort of algorithm to like what you're interested in, right?
Yeah.
So I've been getting a ton of Whatnot ads recently because I've been talking about it more and I've been, doing more on there and stuff. Well, I don't know if you know this, but on the new Whatnot ads, like the newest ones that have just come out in the last couple of weeks, so they show like the person, hey, I got these really cool shoes, on Whatnot, and you can find anything on there. And I got these were $7 and they're $30. They do their whole bit, right?
Yeah.
As the buyer. And they said, can't find what you're looking for in a live sale? You can find it in fixed price listings and you can make offers and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that is the first time I've ever heard Whatnot talk about you can buy something directly out of a store there versus just the live selling.
Yep.
So that really caught my ear because they're like, okay, they're going to start to say like, hey, there's dudes like me who aren't right now, at least aren't doing a lot of live shows, and you can still go buy stuff from them.
Yep.
And I think that's good for Whatnot overall, and including breakers and other, live sellers, because you're just going to get people in the platform looking for a thing. And then if you're doing it live or you're, offering it at a better price or whatever the case may be, they're there now. So it gives you the opportunity to sell that live, or, okay, well, nobody is selling this live. Now they can buy it from me, fixed or whatever.
Yep.
So I'm really interested to see kind of how they build that out. They do need to offer the envelope shipping. That's driving me insane. Obviously, I've mentioned it 100 times. Because I don't get that. You can do it on a live show, so why can't you do it on a fixed listing? So I'm guessing there's pressure on them. They're hearing about it a lot that needs to change. So we'll see. Now, what I do, since everybody has to buy Ground Advantage, I'm going to tell the viewers this too. So what I've been doing is offering a larger bundle. Okay, so if they already have to pay Ground Advantage, I can ship like 15, 16 cards. Actually, maybe even a few more than that. But I'm keeping it at that because I'm going to package them really well, get them value for and put it in a padded envelope and all that, which adds weight. But anyway, I'm letting them bundle up to 15 cards because they're going to be paying that 3-ounce package shipping anyway. So I at least want to try to get as close to that 3-ounce for the package as possible. And that should help you get some extra sales too, because the people who are like, well, I don't want to buy a $1 card and pay $4 shipping, maybe they can find 15 cards and you can get that bundle order.
Yep.
So just a tip there that, now once they add envelope shipping in again, then I'm going to go back to my normal. If it's 1 ounce, 1 to 6 cards, that'll go for the 74 cents or whatever ends up being the 1 ounce postage at the time. If you're doing 12 cards, then it's the 2 ounce, so on. But for now, I just have the one bundle built because there's no other option than just doing the package.
Yeah, I'm sure it won't be long.
I'm sure not. I met Harold way back in the day when he was still playing, and dude is tall. Who's Harold? Did we talk about a Harold?
Yeah, the wide receiver.
Oh, yeah, Harold Carmichael. Yeah, he was like, actually, it's funny you mentioned that. I think he was the tallest player in the NFL for like a year or two.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and he was a hell of a wide receiver. Well, Launch Pail is offering to help my with OBS, so If I need that, I'll hit you up. I've only done OBS a few times. That's like screen mirroring and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Layering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's where like you can see infinite pictures of your own self, right?
Good. Yeah.
So yeah, I've used it a few times, but I was using it for like picture-in-picture functions, essentially. Right? Is that what you use it for? So like you have the camera of
we have like a camera on our face, and then we have a live border around it, and you can have stuff coming across the screen and images coming up and sound effects and.
Okay. I will probably take you up on some assistance for that. Because if you guys have that ironed out and figure, I'll tell you what. When you guys get into Car Dealer Pro, let me know. I'll come down there and I'll show you a lot of the tricks and tips on Car Dealer Pro, and you guys can show me some OBS.
Yeah,
that'll be a fair trade.
Okay.
Let's see, but you still pay for shipping supplies. Well, yeah, shipping supplies always cost you something. Well, I shouldn't say always. I mean, you can get the labels pretty cheap or free, if you can get them from UPS. Top loads, I get those when I buy collections and stuff, so I don't really buy any at this point. But I know you're going through a lot more than I do, Benji, so I'm guessing you're just constantly buying supplies.
Oh yeah.
Cases of
coming in by the pallet.
Yeah. I don't quite move stuff that way, but I did just get a couple of cases of the Too Tough card savers. I really like those. Those were a good value, and kind of like you said, they come with like the free sleeves and all that stuff, so added value there. So I don't pay for the sleeves.
There's ways to get it down to very, very minimal.
Yeah, I mean, when I really calculate it out, it's like 7 to 8 cents per package.
I think we've gotten it down to 3 or 4 cents a piece.
Yeah, as long as you're doing enough quantity, you can get it down there pretty good.
Yep.
Let's see. Lunch Pail says he could try the dongle, but I haven't seen it in principle. Well, I can tell you it works on my laptop. I don't know if that helps. I don't know if that helps on it with a cell. I haven't tried it with my cell phone, but I don't know. Yeah. Thinking I could. I guess I could plug it into my cell phone right now and see if it works.
And then,
yeah. Well, that's I'm like during a live show. Probably not a great idea to plug stuff in. We're gonna fold up pretty soon here anyway.
Yeah.
I got to take the puppy out for a pee. That's my new task at night now. Both Whatnot and Loop prefer LAN over Wi-Fi, and I agree. Yeah, absolutely. You always want hardwire. BB Sport. Who's this?
Oh, that's Fred. He was in the other. Live.
Whatnot is so streamlined for live auctions compared to eBay and Fanatics. That I can definitely see. That makes a lot of sense. Whatnot provides a great. Why am I seeing this overlap? There we go. Whatnot provides a great platform that allows to fill multiple breaks at once. The customer service side is well-oiled machine. I can see for you, like if you're doing volume and breaks, I can't imagine going anywhere else. I don't know who else could handle.
Yeah.
How many breaks would you say you guys do the most at one time? 3?
Oh, like in one live?
So like let's say because you got 2 breakers, right?
Yeah.
So you got 1 breaker in one room, you got another break in another room, and they're both doing a break at the same time. Do you also break?
I haven't in a while. I want to start getting back to it. It's just been really tough. I mean, that's what I started doing.
So like now put all 3 of you break at one time then? Is that something you've done? I suppose you got multiple channels too.
Yeah, so we have 2 channels within Whatnot, and then we have Loop, and then we're gonna have 2 channels of Loop. So technically we could be breaking at 4 people at the same time.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot of product all at one time.
Yeah. Well, my thought process behind that is to put being able to get new product and then run new product on the same day on 2 different channels at getting two different customers.
Sure.
So,
yeah. And I think that's what I'm it took me so long just to build out all my eBay listings and everything. and I run 2 eBay stores too, by the way. So I get the like multiplicity portion of a platform as well. And I've got that down pretty good. My other store, I'm still in a lot of growth mode. The current one, it's more just like maintaining stock, more than the growth part of it. But I know there's customers in other places that just, because it used to just be you went to eBay, you went to eBay, you went to eBay, and that was it. And I need to get all of us sellers. We really need to get out, spread out a bit, and get into these other platforms and service some of those customers.
Yep.
So, and while they might go to BB Breaks to get in on a break, they might want to pick up a couple of, FARV cards for their collection, besides. Well, great. They can participate in Benji's break. They can look for their FARV cards, find them in my shop, and we can all service those customers and get them what they need.
Yep.
Lunch Pill says he's happy to help. Love to hear that. Me too. Anything you need. Off subject here, but one time we were flying at 30,000 feet. Pilot had an issue, and the crew chief started pulling breakers, and everything went black. Put it back. He's referring to he's referring to me screwing with cables during a live show. So that's pretty solid advice there. On an airplane, that's terrifying. Can you imagine a blackout on an airplane? What? Nope. I'm done. I don't fly anymore. I personally have filled 5 brakes simultaneously, 5 at one time. How do you do that?
Well, because you can, a lot of times we will.
Well, like selling the spots, you mean?
Yeah, so he'll have 5 to 8 brakes filling in the background, and as they fill, those are the ones you rip. Next one fills, you rip. Next one fills.
Got it.
So you fill up your whole day's shift that way by putting up multiple brakes of different products, and then as soon as one fills,
that seems like an efficient way to do it, right? Because then you just keep moving. You don't have to. Now, where do you sell your spots? We should tell everybody that. And so, somebody wants to buy into your brake. How do they do that?
Yeah, just go to BB Sports Brakes and whatnot, and you go to shows. We have pin shows coming up. We already have breaks like Origins. We're running Hobby Origins all day tomorrow.
Okay.
We're running Hobby Basketball, Retail Optic Basketball Chasing Downtowns on Saturday. So you can go into those shops into those shows right now and purchase teams ahead of time instead of waiting for them to go live in the break. So
love it.
Yeah.
Do you ever have breaks that don't fill?
Yep.
Yeah. What do you do then?
Breaks we had to cancel because it just didn't go right. Or sometimes we'll take a break and be like, okay, we got 8 teams left, and then we've been live for this many hours, and so we're just going to take that break and run it tomorrow and fill it tomorrow. So
makes sense.
But if you cancel a break, you have to give everybody the opportunity to refund.
Well, yeah, I would think so, right? Because they already paid.
Say, hey, we're going to run this break tomorrow. If people are like, well, I don't want to wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, because I mean, in theory, they could take that money and buy into a different break, right? And get what they need that night. So that makes sense. I mean, if you can't fill it, you can't fill it. You give them the chance to take the refund and do something else with their evening. So, all right. I think we lost Benji. Benji's all frozen. Nice stream. I'll send some friends to sub to you guys. Oh, appreciate it, Skylar. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. We always love to have new viewers on here. It's, we have our regulars, of course, but we're always trying to get some new faces, some new questions. There's always a lot of people who are doing what we're doing, but aren't necessarily talking about it. So we want to try to bring more of an environment out for that and have it be more participation. I like making videos that I just post, but it's more fun to have interaction with the people who watch and want to participate. So and with that, we lost Benji. So here he comes. He just got back on here. Hold on, let me just click on him quick. There he is.
Yeah, my phone died. I wasn't even paying attention, and the battery just ran right out. Didn't even pay attention.
Oops. I thought you were like, yeah, that's it. I'm done for tonight.
And
I've had enough of this. Yeah. That's a very efficient way to end a stream, right? You just turn it on. Sorry
about that.
No problem at all. You're talking to the tech challenge guy here normally, so I came through big tonight. I'm very proud of myself. So, I'll take the win for once. Usually
Yeah,
it's
no kidding.
usually it's Charlie in here doing all the kinds of things that I need done. But no, I think this was great. I like having you on pretty regularly. I think we're gonna. Oh, I just see you posted. Phone died. That's funny. The phone died. He'll be right back. Yeah, I think this is good because I did.
Huh? Now you just froze.
Did I? I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't see me frozen. Oh, weird. I don't see me frozen. My battery definitely didn't die. I'm plugged in. So, but anyway, what I was saying is that I really appreciate you coming on here. I think it's good. I really like having a show where it's not just me talking about the stuff I'm doing or the things we're doing. There's a lot more world of cards out there. I want to try to do more of that.
Yeah.
Getting a shop owner on, I think, is pretty cool because it's those of us who are just selling online. I think it's a totally different appreciation for what you do. And you got staff, and you got, all those things that it just.
It's a grind for all of us, and every it's a grind.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's fun. Right? It's fun, and you can make some money at it. So it's not the worst. It's not the worst environment to be in for sure. So, now I can't remember. Do you have kids?
Yeah, I got between me and my wife, we have 5.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So what do they think about the card business? Are they into it at all?
No, not even a little.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, my oldest, he travels with a company doing why can't I think of it? Puts a coating over concrete floors.
Okay.
But he travels all over the country doing it. I like epoxy, so he works for a big epoxy company
gotcha.
that they go all over the country and do that. So that's what he does. He tells me, Dad, I want to come work for the company. I want to work for the business, but it's like I wouldn't let somebody come work for the business that doesn't have a love for the hobby. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I understand you want to do it, and you probably think that you can make all this money, blah 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 blah. And it's like, no. I said, I would love for you to come take this over someday or whatever it might be. I said, but you got to be into sports. You got to be into something, Marvel, or just have a love for something in that part of the hobby. And he's into cars. Like, he loves cars.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got like an 800 horsepower race car Neon that he loves, So he's a car guy. And my youngest is I have it in there though because my youngest works at Target.
Okay.
So I get notified when there's restocks.
That's nice. That's nice. Hey, retail. There's nothing wrong with good retail products once in a while, right?
But he's a junior, but he's not into like sports and stuff either. So
okay.
And then my wife's kids, David, he's in the Army.
Okay.
He's stationed overseas right now, and then her daughter is a welder.
Okay.
And then so her youngest son and my youngest son are both juniors in high school, and he's a super like hick. He's into trucks and dirt, and he works construction, and
Sure.
So so we got all ends of the spectrum, just nobody in sports.
That's interesting how different they all are, right? We always think like our kids are gonna do what we do, and that's definitely not true.
Yeah.
My daughter's not interested either. She's big into anime, Japanese culture, and fashion, and all these things that. Yeah, it's amazing, and I almost like that more in a way. Not that I don't want her to be involved in something I love, but I'm learning a lot. Like, it gives me a chance to learn like the cool stuff that she's big into this movie right now called K-pop Demon Hunters.
It's like something K-pop, something on Netflix, something that just came.
It's the #1 show on Netflix, and like five of the top 10 songs on the charts right now are from that movie. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And she's like, Dad, you got to watch this. Dad, you got to watch this. So I'm like, all right, I'll sit. I got back from the National, and I had a buddy. I always have a buddy of mine help me like fill orders and stuff after the National. How you get behind and all that. So anyway, he was staying over, and I'm like, let's go watch this movie with her, and we watched it. We're like, this thing's it's kind of interesting. Like I wouldn't have sat down and watched it, just me.
Yeah.
But watching it with her and just her interest in it, and loved it. But yeah, she doesn't really have. She did a few Pokemon cards when she was real little, and they would trade them in school and stuff. But she wasn't really
into it.
I think she was just into it because her friends kind of got into it. But yeah, she doesn't do anything now with it. So, yeah. So you got to figure out the future of the store that way, then, huh? Because you don't
take
if you don't
it
have,
to the grave with me.
yeah, probably a good plan.
Yeah.
You could make a hell of a casket out of a bunch of cards, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it would look really cool.
Yep. There's plenty of cardboard.
For sure.
Some of the cards now are, the stock is so big you could probably have one.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the stock on the new Marvel cards is insane.
Is it?
Yeah, the Topps Chrome Marvel cards, like they're amazing. Like they're probably one of the best looking cards I've seen.
Are they thicker?
Yeah.
Or okay.
They're almost like they're almost like a 59.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't picked anything up from that yet, so yeah,
You should.
I'll have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like the Marvel Platinum. I've bought quite a bit of stock of that, and they sell well. But that's like I think that's an Upper Deck product, right?
Yeah, the Topps Chrome, like the Sapphire boxes, are going for like a $900.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Sapphire always goes for way too much, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like blue cracked ice, like
yeah.
But I'm a I collect Atom Bomb from Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh, sick! Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to Topps putting out like a premium. I mean, they make Garbage Pail Kids Chrome, I get that, but I would love for them to put, and they did a Sapphire set once. But I would love for them to do like some kind of high-end Garbage Pail Kids. I think that would be amazing.
Get a Superfractor Atom Bomb.
Yeah, I would love that. I do have a couple autos. I do have a Sapphire. I've got a Sapphire Parallel. I think it's like the orange or something, numbered out of 25.
It's almost like a color match.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks so cool with the head exploding kind of thing, and then you've got the orange fruit, cracked ice all the way around it.
Yeah.
So what? Final question, and then I'll let you go because we all got to get going here.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about? We're getting to the end here of Panini's run, essentially, right, with licensed products.
Yeah.
What do you see? What do you see out of that? What do you think that's going to look like over the next year or two as all that stuff changes over?
Well, honestly, I think you're going to see companies like Leaf and Wildcard, and a lot of those companies start to flourish more. Because with them having the only the license out there for basketball and baseball and football and cornering the market, I think some of these other companies are gonna people are gonna start to become a little more okay with unlicensed autos, because like Leaf is coming out now with a lot more. Like they just released a product that has all on-card autos, and a lot of them are inscripted. So which is highly collectible. So I think you're going to see a lot more of that to try to eat up some of the market space. I'm confused on what Panini's going to do. I don't know if they're just going to go unlicensed or if they're licensed.
I was just going to ask you that. Are they even going to try to
like,
fit in
how do
that
you get rid of
space?
kaboom and downtowns and get rid of all these things? Because if they go unlicensed, nobody's going to want them.
Right. I mean, essentially the runs of those could end, right? Like, I mean, there's been really good case hit or chase cards or things like that in sets for years and years and years. They come to an end, and that's okay. And what we're going to start seeing is the superfractors are going to be big again, right? Because they'll all be licensed, and then the Topps kind of bangers will.
Well, I hope they get. It'd be awesome if they go back to just, less parallels and more, chrome and, a couple different parallels and golds and blacks and, and not, 15, 30 parallels in a set. It's like,
yeah.
I'm hoping that we lose some of that to give more value back to the cards that way. But I don't know. We'll see.
I've never really cared for the stance of like Prism is sort of the hobby premium standard, like Topps Chrome used to be. And I'm like, I've never really cared that much for Prism, to be honest with you. I think the design is kind of boring from year to year. And there's always a lot of manufacturing defects, dimples and off centering. And, I just don't, it's always just a silver bordered card, and then, yeah, you're right. They do like 75,000 parallels or whatever, but that doesn't impress me either. So
well, I'm excited. I think if anything, one of the most excited about is getting back to, game worn or, player worn game use,
yes,
that kind of stuff
yes.
is because all this napkin stuff and just pieces of clothing stuck in cards and, that's anybody who's in the hobby back in, the 80s and 90s when that was super popular and you got to get a patch from that said, this is from August 1st and the game against the Bengals and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, just having a piece of a memory like that is like getting back to that is I'm super excited about.
One of my favorite, I'm a Favre super collector, I guess, if you want to call me that. One of my favorite game used memorabilia cards is a piece from shoes, right? You never see shoe cards hardly at all anymore. And on the back of the card, it has an actual photograph of the shoes.
Yeah.
Themselves, how cool is that, right? Like because you get a little chunk of a shoe and it looks weird, right? So you got like this one half of an eyelet and a little bit of stitch here, and you're like, that okay, I guess that's a part of a shoe. But then you see the whole shoe on the back, and it's like, this is kind of cool. You can picture the player wearing them, and of course, there's a picture of him on the card with wearing shoes and stuff. But and I've always thought that Topps has been a little bit more responsible with their like price points and stuff. I feel like Panini a lot of times was really pricing people out of the market. So that,
getting worse before as it's closer they get to being done.
Yeah, I mean, like $900 for a box of Prism. Like, I'm not spending that for in my opinion, a subpar product. You're not getting on-card autos. I don't know, and that's what really just turned me when I got back into the hobby, because I was a pack ripper like everybody was when I was a kid. That was how you got cards.
Yep.
And when I got back in and I started looking at this as a side hustle turned into a business type of thing, like I can't open wax. It doesn't make any sense. Breaking, that's different, right? Because
I think that's why breaking got so popular.
Absolutely, 1,000%.
Yeah.
And then you kind of increased your popularity because you guys, with the demand for the product, increased the price of the product even more. So now more buyers were not going to get into
ripping wax. Yeah,
ripping wax. They're going, well,
boxes,
yeah. I only collect the Lakers. Why the hell would I buy a box?
Yeah.
I'll just go buy the Lakers, right? Or in my case, the Seattle Seahawks. Why not? Who doesn't want the Seahawks in a break, right?
Jalen Miller, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's going to be. I think the next 2 years are going to be real, or probably not even 2 years. The next year and a half or so is really going to be a game changer. I think you're right with the non-licensed products. I mean, that's been loosening up quite a bit. I got back into it a few years before Charlie kind of joined in, and I was telling him about Wildcard. I'm a big Wildcard fan. And Dan Atkins, the CEO, I talked to him, on occasion. He's a super nice guy. I said, I really like their products. They make good quality cards and, very interesting and unique. And Charlie's like, yeah, but it's not licensed. And I'm like, you're going to get over that. Trust me. Everybody's going to get over that. And it feels like it's happened a lot already.
Yeah, I think if they can get a little bit more to on-card autos, the product will be just that much better. I mean, just sticker autos is the only thing that's kind of keeping it down.
So have you seen this product that they advertised at the National? They weren't selling it yet, but with the game used patches. they're doing an entire game used patch NFL set or like product release wild card. So it's actually kind of cool. The box, it's a big white box, and it actually has the NFL Shield logo patch, like an actual big patch on the front of the box. So I mean, even the package looks really awesome. I know it's going to be like a few grand or whatever per box, obviously, but every card that comes out of the box is going to be game used memorabilia.
That's cool.
So I really think that they're obviously going to pay up to get that stuff, but I think you're going to find buyers for it.
Yeah, and that's why I said people are going to start to become a little bit more okay with unlicensed product when you can find game used or on card autos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel kind of fortunate, as a Favre collector, because for years I was buying that memorabilia stuff, and it was all game used.
Yeah.
And I've a few modern cards, of course, I have, are not from any specific used event player, blah blah blah. And now Panini's been busted that the jersey isn't even of the player. People have taken apart the cards and it says like, Frank Winters on it instead of Brett Favre, and it's like, dudes don't even wear the same jersey. They have different cuts of jersey even. Like, come on.
Yeah, we just got in store last week a 2015. I don't remember what it was, but it was a Steve Smith Ravens game used patch in there, and it was all dirty.
Okay.
And
nice.
I just sold it for $150. But it's like, if you had a mem card of even a top player right now that wasn't game used, people wouldn't even look at it twice.
Yeah.
But because it was game used, that card literally sat in our case for less than a week, and someone had bought it. Like people just look for that. That's super sought after.
So why do you think they stopped making game used cards? It was just too expensive?
Yeah, I think it just to try to keep the product price down.
Yeah. But it hasn't kept the price down.
No, but I mean, I think it got, with all these different parallels, and I think the demand for the product, it got so expensive. Unless which we probably both thinking about, they just got greedy.
Yeah, well, that's the correct answer in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, and it's a corporation. They have stockholders. Their goal is to make money. There's, you can't celebrate capitalism and complain about it all at the same time, right? It doesn't really work.
Yeah.
But honestly, the buyers have to get away from it. That you have to go, well, I'm not going to pay that. That's the only way you're going to get that to go back down. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But I feel like Topps and Fanatics, I feel like they're not gonna just keep pumping the price all the time. They're gonna try to have some stuff in there, have some affordability, and if they can participate in other parts of the market, have a platform to sell on, and things like that, they can
generate revenue where they don't have to put it all into
exactly. And cards isn't even their only revenue, right? They sell all the jerseys and the on-field stuff and all that. So it's like they don't have to squeeze every penny out of this.
Yeah.
And I know Panini has some other products too. They're obviously located in Italy, and they do sticker products and candy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But let's face it, the biggest bulk of their money comes from these cards, and they were trying to get everything they could out of it. And I think it's a one reason why people just don't like a lot of the products.
Sticker autos and non-used mem.
Yeah.
Just
completely. You just don't do it then, right? Like I'd rather get another Tom Brady base card than like a non-game used jersey card of some offensive lineman. Like, what do you do? You just cut the card up for no reason. You put in some jersey you bought at Walmart. Like, I don't get it. Why would you even do it?
We were ripping a bunch of Donruss last year, and every time we got a Donruss patch, we ripped open the card to see what the actual jersey was.
See what it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Did they all match?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah.
It was horrible.
No, Topps does do a better job of that. I get game used. It's mostly baseball, of course, but I get game used baseball cards out of products. Right? And they're not even like super high end products. So I think that's something that they would bring to the other sports as they get those licenses too.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that part.
Yeah, I think where you're going to run into the issue is when you get to like the legends and the retired guys, right? It's harder to get a hold of their stuff.
Yeah, which will hold great
value. Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, maybe you could imagine going into that. I mean, you got like a Brett Favre, game used, playoff jersey that they decided to cut out for a certain set. It'd be hugely collectible, so.
I'd be in.
Yeah.
And that's a product where like, I'll buy a box to rip and take my chance at it. You know what I mean? Because there's added value in that for me. If I can hit something like that.
Yeah.
Versus now, I look at some of the checklists and stuff. I'm like, I don't even want any of these cards. Why the hell would I buy the box?
No.
No
quarterback signs. No game used material. Like.
And now some of these players sign exclusive deals somewhere. So it's like, okay, well, they're signed exclusively with Topps. So if I buy a Panini product, like they're not even going to be in it. Yeah. All that stuff is going to change, and I to me, that's the biggest gain to.
Well, that's why we're trying to make sure that we get our hand in the basket with getting allocation, but
yeah,
just to make sure we get our hand in the basket of all this new product coming out.
Do you think they're going to print in the USA?
Yeah, I mean, I think. Well, it kind of depends. I mean, I want to get into politics, but if they can get, incentives for producing here, then I'm sure they will. Yeah, that's the whole thing right now. Build here, get incentivized to build here, and hopefully that stays true. And obviously, we'd all like that, but at the end of the day, it's all business. So
yeah, for sure. Well, I'm just thinking, we were talking about prices. That's what made me think of it, because it's like, okay, well, prices, essentially will all go up again, right? Because now all the tariffs hit. So, if when Fanatics comes in and Topps comes in and is doing more of this, well, can they print here? Because that would make a big difference.
Yeah, hopefully they just incentivize. Build here, sell here, get incentivized for it. So, I hope that stays true.
Yeah, same. All right, Benji, I'm gonna let you go. I gotta get this dog out. Good. And thanks again so much. Goat Show September 28th. Be there. Benji will be there. We'll be doing some breaks, having some fun. Riverside Ballroom. Hope to see you all there. Benji's got the new BB Sports Cards store, right? Yep. It's Cards for the store name. Okay.
Yeah.
Down in Appleton, the grand opening
this coming week. Yep.
Yeah. So next week. Yeah, Tuesday through Saturday, right?
Yep.
Okay. So everybody try to get down there sometime next week. I'll be there Saturday, and we'll be hanging out. You get that beer license by Saturday, right?
Man, I would love it. Well, we can still have it here. You just can't buy it from me. I'll just have to give you one.
Fair enough. I'll take you up on that. I like that. We'll have a beer. We'll crack some jokes and crack some packs, and I'm looking forward to seeing your new shop. So congratulations. All right. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. If you're watching this live, appreciate you. If you're watching it recorded, remember every Wednesday, 8 Central Standard Time, we are live on here. Charlie will be back with us next week, I assume. We wish him well. And we'll see you all next time. And remember, you can't sell what you don't list.